Good evening, party people, and welcome back to Dream Daddy. Tonight's cocktail is inspired by the boy right in the center. It's this guy. That's Damien. Damien is apparently a goth daddy. I think. Goth, maybe some, whatever the intersection between like goth and I guess like it's a Victorian. I believe that's the thing that he does. That's, I think, what his profile says. I haven't checked his profile in a hot minute, so we're gonna get ourselves a little refresher. I hope it at least mentions the word Victorian, otherwise this whole cocktail that we've got planned tonight kind of goes out the window. Damien Bloodmarch, how do you do? I finally decided to join this information superhighway. I'm not entirely sure how this works, but I'm trying my best to understand. I love long strolls through graveyards and spending time with my son. If you would ever like to chat about the latest in Victorian fashion, that's the buzzword. The inevitability of our own demise or black cats, please send me a letter. Well, Damien, I have something that I want to talk to you about. Not specifically Victorian fashion, but instead Victorian-era cocktails and drinks. So let's make our way over to the bar before we get things started over here as we proceed to try to explore a cocktail by Victorian-era bartender, specifically Jerry Thomas. I don't know a lot about the cocktail history. I'm not much of a cocktail historian. I don't know. I haven't read up too much on it. But I do know when I had Googled the Victorian era, it apparently lasted somewhere into like the very, very, very early 1900s. And if I'm correct in quoting it, 1901 says Anna off screen. And it thank you. Did I actually say that?
Yeah, it was like 1830s to 1901-ish.
Well, perfect.
It might be 1839. I don't actually remember the first number.
Well, I'm hoping it's at least 1830 something because Jerry Thomas, I believe, was born in like the 1830s or something. I think I misquoted in my story when the Bartender's Guide came out, but we have the glory of the internet on our side. If I had an original copy of this, I feel like this would be easy. But Jerry Thomas's Bartender's Guide, How to Mix Drinks. Mix all kinds of plain and fancy drinks. Supposedly came out in the year 1862. Toasted pieces of garlic has popped in today. Hello, toasted pieces of garlic. Dude, have I ever mentioned? You're not the only garlic. Oh, toasted pieces of garlic. I immediately thought of garlic bread. Thank you for putting that flavor into my mind. Victorian stuff. We have the pot out today. Jerry Thomas published his Bartender's Guide in I already forgot it. 1862, which was in fact somewhere in the middle of the Victorian era. So when we talk about Victorian era cocktails, we can actually go back to one of the foundational mixologists or bartenders of the time, Jerry Thomas himself. And again, I'm not too read up on that. But the way that this man spoke, the way that this man wrote out the instructions in his book is like of a time all in the past. To read the instructions specifically of how to make Jerry Thomas's sleeper cocktail, which the recipe is posted up there if you'd like to follow along. If you've got all the ingredients set up yourself spontaneously, I salute you. To quote it exactly, to a gill of old rum, approximately 1/4 of a cup, add 1 ounce of sugar, 2 yolks of eggs, and the juice of half a lemon. Both half a pint of water with 6 cloves, 6 coriander-seeds, and a bit of cinnamon. Whisk all together and strain into a tumbler. I saw that and my first thought was, oh boy, you could put egg in a cocktail. It's not the first time we've done eggs in cocktails on the stream. In the past, we've gone over fizz cocktails or foams and sours and whatnot, where you would usually use an egg white, which emulsifies and gets so tightly packed with those proteins that it causes some really awesome foamy effects and a drying effect on your sour cocktails when combined with things such as acid and other citricy things. On the other hand, you can use egg yolk to impart a different type of texture, a sort of dry texture as opposed to like a drier flavor, at least in my experience. And you put those into flip cocktails. And the last chapter of the Cocktail Codex book, which I'm currently going through, apparently talks all about the flip. And so when I've finally gotten through that, I'll probably give a little more details on that. Cloves are an interesting choice. Add that and coriander too, I see. And toasted says boom. It's an explosion of flavor, I suppose. Specifically the toasted garlic, I imagine. So for this cocktail, we've prepared a few ingredients so far. I have my little induction stove top here to be able to boil water. We're going to follow along for the whole process. I have no idea if this is going to work. If you've read those ingredients and the instructions carefully, you'll find that one of the instructions is to take your mixture, which contains a variety of different reagents, including egg yolk, and put them into or combine them some way with boiling water. And I thought about those instructions, very carefully, and apparently you have to be rather careful. You have to temper your eggs Otherwise, your eggs will quite literally scramble. So there is an interesting potential future we have ahead of us. I have never made this before. I have never done a cocktail like this before. So here's the question. Am I going to scramble the eggs? And if I scramble the eggs, am I committing to drinking it? It will all be filtered out, but there will be at least some pieces left over that will include clove, spices, some cinnamon stuff, and potentially scrambled eggs. Will it work? I really don't know. We're gonna try. Lycos Lura's popping and saying, hey dude, hey bro. How's it going, bro? Over on the YouTube side of things. If you're watching on the YouTube side, hello. If you're watching on the Twitch side, hello. If you're watching somewhere in the future where the Fediverse happens and social media exists everywhere and nowhere all at once, hello. I'm Cameron. Oh my god. Or save it for breakfast tomorrow. I don't know if I really want rummy eggs in the morning, Annie, but that is an excellent point. Also, loving the new little thing you got there. A little cute little... What does that say? Twitch Recap 2023. Interesting. The Metaverse. The Fediverse, specifically. And I think it was Blue Sky or whatever who came up with that. So let's get started with our ingredients, right? The first step is to combine our rum together with our sugar, 2 yolks of eggs, and the juice of half a lemon. And we all need to whisk those ingredients together. So I'm not quite ready to do this boiling of water yet. Although what I will do is I will boil it in the background and we will combine things together. I think after it's combined together, we will actually strain it out into our tumbler. There are some lessons in cooking here that I am not at all an authority to speak on. And I may just be stalling for time. It's been how many minutes so far? Let's just move on, right? So the first thing that we need to do is grab ourselves a container with which to mix with. I have a little bowl here, as per usual. I'm gonna make a couple of adjustments to things. I'm gonna go get a couple of eggs from the fridge. There's only 4 in here. I hope it's enough. Oh, there's only 3 actually. I don't know what happened to my other egg. We were entertaining guests the other day. Maybe one of them came by and took one of my eggs from me. We're separating our egg whites from our egg yolks. I have a little container back here. It is inside of the fruits basket. I'll put this off to the side. I realized that the container that I had been putting my eggs yolked in, does not seal properly. And that's why every time I went to use them for eggs, they were not good. They were not good at all. So this is the chance you take. This is the thing we do. We do mixology. So the way that I usually separate my egg yolks from my egg whites, you can either use the shell if you're feeling confident, or if you're not, you can always use this little egg yolker thing here. It really depends on what your preferences are. Let's crack an egg. Let's try to do that over top of maybe a paper towel, just in case I wind up. Nah, whatever. We're haphazard around here. If we make a mistake, we live in it. 1 egg cracked. We're gonna crack this open and try to separate the egg white from the egg yolk by utilizing this technique. Apparently I'm not using my juicer this time, my yolker this time. You can just kind of take the egg back and forth between shells until the white has more or less had a chance to come off. And if you're careful and you execute this superbly, you can separate most of it, hello? There we go. And leave more or less only your egg yolks behind. Great. So we got 1 egg yolk. 1 spare egg. I'm gonna put that right into the trash can. I don't want this. I do not want it. I do not want it. Stay open, please. Thank you for that. And then we need 1 more egg. 1 more. I cracked 6 eggs today. Saying you do it in a thick, round edge is painful. Well. This is the thick, round edge. This round edge over here is actually pretty good, and I will have to clean this up a little bit. There we go. Oh my goodness, that was harsh. That was harsh, Cameron. It was very, very harsh. I can't wait to clean my hands. Or maybe I just do it dirty. Is it better? No. If I was at an actual bar, I would not be doing it like this. Okay, that's our egg whites. Hello. Yeah, there we go. The egg yolk has been cracked. And there's a little bit of whatever the white stuff is on the egg side of the egg yolk. It's not the actual egg white itself. It's the white part. It's the part that, like, I think it corresponds to the placenta. I don't know. I'm not a biologist, y'all. I'm actually an engineer by education. Let's take our egg whites and put them away properly. Let's take the egg whites on our fingers and put that away properly. And let's take the egg whites that have collected on our soon-to-be hot surface and also clean those up too. Otherwise, things are gonna get really, really, really weird. Lilib's a bacon man. A baking man. Man who bakes. Not a bacon man. We like to make sure that our friends are not singed to edible degrees. But I suppose if you are singed, Should it be edible? No, that's fine. We don't need to worry about that. No. Let's not think about consuming humans. It's not that kind of cocktail stream. It's not that kind of cocktail stream. All right, after you've more or less cleaned up your egg whites and your workstation, if you make a mess like we do, that's okay. We can continue onwards. We have 2 egg yolks in here, and I don't see any shell, which is great. There's little white pieces in there, but I'm hoping that's just not going to be an issue. We need to also add, in addition to our 2 egg yolks, we add some rum, some sugar, some lemon juice, half a lemon juiced. We're gonna approximate that because I did have a lemon and I bought it yesterday. Actually, I bought it on Monday, and the thing was already moldy. Because that's organic lemons for you. It's difficult to be keeping track of things. Let's grab our rum. We have a Bacardi. We'll take 4 ounces, or about, that's like 118 times 2, like 60 times 2, like 118 milliliters of some sort of white rum. I'm gonna go with a Bacardi on this one. We'll add that to our container here. I probably could be boiling water in the background, but, oh, Brad! Second. Welcome in, sir. Welcome in, sir. Your support is much appreciated around here. It allows us to do weird shit like this. 4 ounces of rum into egg yolk? That doesn't happen unless you've got people by your side. So thank you for that. Cocktails made with real human Annie, where are you? Oh my god. Where are you going with that? Wonderful places, I'm sure. 4 ounces of rum. In addition to 2 egg yolks, we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of sugar. Add those in there. 2 tablespoons of sugar. 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons. That's about 10 milliliters, by the way, for our folks across the pond. I'm not sure if y'all also use milliliters for your solid ingredients, but if you do, that's where to do it. That's what we would do. We've got our sugar, we've got our rum, we've got our yolks, we need some lemons juiced. Again, I don't have half a lemon juiced, but what I've found is if you juice half a lemon, and it's a good lemon, you can get anywhere between like 3/4 of an ounce to about 1 ounce of lemon juice. I'm gonna approximate with some lemon juice that we have over here. I'll stick with 3/4 of an ounce because I tend to like my drinks a little less sour. And if these flavors cooperate in the way that I anticipate them to, this might have a sour component to it. So we'll take 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice, add that to our mixture. Now, if you can get this fresh, wonderful. We're not able to get it fresh this evening. And that's all we need for this, right? This is what we mix together, and then we're gonna add all of our spices and whatnot to the water, which we will fill up next and then start boiling. So in the meantime, I want to kind of give this a little bit of a mix. I'll mix it a little more thoroughly later. And we're gonna get that all nice and constituted to each other. Mix it all together. Amy Chow says, hey. Brad says, hey. Everybody says, hey. I kind of want to do something on topic to drink, but I bought 2 limes and I want a gin and tonic. Just drop a raw egg in there. Actually, I legitimately was looking up egg yolk in cocktails, and what I saw shocked me. It was a clear-looking cocktail, and it did include gin, and they just dropped an egg yolk. Actually, they put an egg yolk into the glass. It was a champagne flute, and then they just poured the drink on top of it. And the point is, you don't crack the egg yolk. It doesn't mix. You just get to the bottom. It had some weird, like, prairie oyster energy. It was very, very odd. So I have a solution that is all nice and homogeneous of our stuff there. Where's the cocktail angle when we need it at a time like this? I'll grab it in a little bit. We're gonna put this off to the side for now. Put these off to the side. And then we'll prepare our other ingredients. Our other ingredients are as such. We need to take a full cup of water. Was it full cup of water? It says, right, boiled with 1 cup of hot water. Cup of hot water. I got a cuppa around here somewhere. Here's my cuppa. 1 cup of water for the folks across the pond is about 8 ounces, or about, that's awesome. 8 ounces. Let's take like 60 and multiply that by like 4. 240 milliliters. That's what I'm gonna go with. Trying to do quick maths. I'm gonna do quick maths around here. So, after we pour our water in, we need to prepare our spices. Now, the spices that Jerry Thomas recommends for this particular recipe include clove, coriander, and cinnamon. I got some clove. We've got some cinnamon, but I don't in fact have any coriander, which is unfortunate because I apparently misread my recipe. So I didn't actually have that ingredient prepared, but don't worry, we came with a little bit of research prepared as well. If you don't have coriander, you can actually substitute coriander for cumin, fennel, and or caraway. You can either use one of those ingredients or more of those ingredients together to try to approximate the flavor of coriander, which is actually the seed of the cilantro plant, but we don't want the leaves in this case. We want the seeds instead. I don't have access to that, but it's all good. Brad says, I can't drop a raw egg in there. I need those eggs for breakfast before Hockey Saturday, which is very fair. And Annie says, this isn't in the SIP's instructions, but you're going to temper your egg mixture, right? Yes. We are going to temper the egg mixture. What's funny is, and I'm glad you pointed that out, I ripped straight from, I don't actually have the book on me, The Bartender's Guide by Jerry Thomas from 1860. It was a year in the 1860s. But this is apparently the language that he used. There is no mention of tempering your eggs. And I had to do a little bit of research on this. I don't know if this is actually going to work, but you bring up an excellent point, and yes, we plan on tempering. So I don't actually have any coriander. I'm going to approximate the taste of coriander by getting some cumin, a little bit of cumin. I'm going to approximate the taste of fennel by using a fennel-flavored liqueur called oitzo, which originates from, I don't exactly remember, herbs of Lesvos, Arvantes, Plumari, Isadoros, Arvantes, from Greece. This is a Greek liqueur that I thought I'd open. Oh, I did open this. It, to me, has a very licorice-y type taste to it, and I believe it is primarily flavored with anise and or fennel. So we'll approximate the taste with a little bit of oitzo, which has never made its appearance on stream before because I don't really know how to use it. This, I think, is commonly drinking with, I want to say it's lemonade, but don't quote me on that. So let's add our ingredients. I know that we need 8 cloves. So let's grab 8 cloves. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got 8 of them. Great, great, great. We'll put that into the top of this container here and prepare. We need a pinch of cinnamon. I do not have a pinch of cinnamon prepared, but I will put this open over here and we will pinch it as we continue. And to approximate the 6 coriander seeds. Oh, I had too many cloves in there. Take them out of there. To approximate that, I'm going to take, let's say, about a scant 1/4 teaspoon of our ground cumin and add it with just a scant of a little bit of the oitzo. Just a little bit of a dash in there. We're gonna try that. 8 cloves, not 6. 6 indeed. We do cocktail recipes with correction around here. We're gonna bring this water, I'm gonna instruct you how to do this now so we know as we move on. We're gonna bring this water up to a boil and let that sit at boiling temperature just for a little bit. After it's at boiling temperature, I'm going to take the egg mixture that we have over here in the plastic bowl and move it to another bowl that is probably more resistant to the heat. And we are going to very, very slowly, a little bit at a time, add our hot boiling water mixture to our eggy sugar rum mixture as a means to temper the eggs. If you take really, really hot and add it to something that is relatively warm temperature like the eggs, that temperature differential is going to cook the eggs and scramble them, which is not what we're trying to do this evening. If that is what we do, then we're going to reap what we sow. But I'm trying ever so hardly to make sure we don't do that because I want a pleasant drinking experience. And I've never quite made anything properly in this way. I did try to make a dessert for Anna once upon a time on Valentine's Day, and I did not temper the eggs. I tried to, and we got very, very scrambled egg chocolate food. And it was interesting. So let's take this water. We'll turn on my little thing over here. This might get a little weird sounding because of the induction cooker here, but we're gonna try our bestest. We'll put this onto a hot mode, bring this up to a boil, and as it starts to go up, we'll add our ingredients. A pinch of cinnamon, an approximation of 6 coriander seeds, and 6 pieces of clove as everything that we're adding to the pan. I believe that's all we need, right? Looks like it's all we need. 6 cloves, coriander seeds, bit of cinnamon, and all together. Scrambled egg chocolate food sounds okay, but I grew up in the South, so we eat fun things. You guys have like salted watermelon and stuff down there, which I did try the other day with a little bit of Havarti cheese in preparation for one of the cocktails we're making. Oh, it's so good and so salty. Oh my god, it's so good. All right, I can see this water beginning to boil. We'll wait till it gets up to temperature. I'll just make sure that my eggs have not forgotten about us. Everything looks nice and homogeneous. I'm very, very happy with that. Smells interesting. It just kind of smells like rum. It smells like off rum. That's honestly not so bad. I'm looking forward to seeing how this all tastes like. And I should have, let me prepare my glass in the meantime because we're going to wind up straining this out. I think it's going to go into this glass right over here. Not chilled. What's the point of chilling the glass if something hot's going into it? We got a little bit of smoke. Let's take to our boiling water. We're going to add 6 cloves. We're going to add an approximation of 6 coriander seeds. So I'll take about like a quarter of a teaspoon. I can't even get in there. Of cumin. Try to approximate that. Ah! There we go. A little bit of that. A little bit of cumin in there to approximate the coriander. And we're going to add a splash of oitzo, which is a licoricey, fennelly liqueur from Greece. Boop. A little bit of that in there. And a pinch of cinnamon. That is at a rolling boil. Pinch of cinnamon. Let's bring that down to temperature. Let that continue to go for a little bit. Give it a little bit of a mix around. Try not to burn anything inside of it. This is for the cumin container. There we go. This smells wonderful. Chill the glass and thermal shock it, you coward. I want to break these glasses. That's what I really want to do. Incredible. Let me put everything back together. All right. Let's bring this back up, actually. I realized I could have just lowered the temperature. I did not decide to do that. That's easy. It's getting steamy in here. Perfect for Dream Daddy. Dude, it's great. Speaking of Dream Daddy, this is actually kind of fun. I entered into an Instagram competition the other day. And lo and behold, it's one of those things where like you comment the emoji and you might get picked for something. We won stuff. We actually won stuff. So over the past couple of days or so, our friends at Let's Turn Up have been sending us various different products and stuff. It's actually kind of cool. We got this rum the other day, which is pretty awesome. I'll wind up, once we have everything, I want to do a little thing where we showcase what we got, because I think it was kind of cool. So let's see what bring the cocktail angle and see what things look like so far. I'm not trying to reduce this so much. This is what we got going there. That is a rolling boil. It's very, very big. Let's turn that off. I think we've done pretty good there. How's it looking, y'all? Got some cloves in there. Really doesn't look like too much anyways. Now that we have this all boiling, or at least very, very hot, and more or less infused, it doesn't say specifically how long you were supposed to let this sit for. Does it really matter? Now, only because I'm a man of my word, and I want to make sure everybody can watch me as I either completely fail or completely rack this, I'm going to keep the cocktail angle on, because I want to be able to see, I want to be able to showcase whether or not... This is a hot pan. This is a hot pan. Let me go get a hot plate. I want you to be able to see if I actually scramble these eggs. If I haven't made it obvious already, this is a very Disney household. Here's our little Mickey plate. Isn't that awesome? Your little hot plate. It's great. I saw you posted about that on your Instagram, just like when you post stream updates. Shameless Insta plug. That is where I wind up putting little advertisements. And the tickety talk, too. I'm trying to get better at that. The poll started. Smooth treats or scraps? Let's see how this actually goes, folks. I have no idea. I've never done this before. I'm not a real bartender. I'm just a guy who does this stuff at home. Let's see how this looks. Okay. Tempering the egg concoction. We have our spiced up water, and we're going to add that to our sugared egg yolk combination, and we're going to try to stir to combine very, very carefully. So I'll rearrange a little bit. Take my oitzo and put it away. Put it down here. We're not actually going to mix into the plastic container because that would be silly. We're going to take this metal container. Hold on a second. Hold on. Take the Mickey. Swap the Mickey. Put the Mickey over there. Hot pot here. Then we combine. I don't want to put hot water in the plastic. I would have done a prediction, but I don't want to steal people's hats. Well, that's fair. That's fair. I barely know the difference. I barely know what the difference is. All right, got all of our ingredients. We got our little whisk. And let's combine. Let us combine. We were going to continue stirring and add very, very carefully. Just a little bit at a time. I've never done this before. I also hate this sound. I'm sorry if this is bothering anybody else. Ooh, I see a little bit of... Alright, maybe I gotta be a little slower about that. I don't know whether I just saw cinnamon and or cumin, or whether I just saw a scramble. If y'all didn't see a scramble, I didn't see a scramble. Keeping it going. Keeping it going. It's going okay so far. And then supposedly at the very end, that's our drink. I'm looking forward to like the very, very end because there's a bunch of that little like cinnamon powder and cumin and stuff. And it smells really, really good. This smells nice and intense. All right, this smells like a cabinet. It smells like a kitchen cabinet, really. I'm bringing a silicone whisk to PHL the next time I'm at the bar. I think we might have a silicone one downstairs. Oh, silicone whisk. Oh no, I don't have one of those. Honey, I don't have one of those. I'm sorry, y'all, if this is bothersome. All right, I feel like we're doing great, so I'm gonna go for it. This might bite me in the butt. Looking good. Let's go for it. All right. I think we got it. We got it, y'all. This is evidently a cocktail. And I'm looking at, we're doing the test. We're doing the test. Do you see any eggy chunks in there? I don't see any eggy chunks in there, but we'll strain and see and find out. We have, in this container, we got some rum, we got some sugar, we got some egg yolks, we got some water, we got some lemon juice, some cloves, some coriander-adjusted seeds, not really, and some cinnamon. And we're gonna strain this into a tumbler. I don't know if you would consider this a tumbler, but we're gonna try it nonetheless. So let's see how this works. Let's bring the angle down a little bit. I can hear the rain outside. Very rainy out there tonight. Come on, cocktail angle. Work with me. Work with me. Other direction. I know you got it. I know you got it in you. Hello there. Let's get this keyboard out of the way. It's just bothersome. Hello there. Grab a strainer and conduct the pour. Turns out I need another container. It appears that I may have actually done a little scramblage. I may have done a little scramblage. Hello there. But you know what? That's what the strainer's for. Looks less scary than the desk flip. That's potentially true. Come on now. Get through it. Get through it. Get through it. You gotta want it. I don't know if y'all can hear, but it's totally raining out there. It's a very, very pleasant sound. Now, if anybody remembers the death flip, that had some chartreuse and egg yolk in it. Yeah, this is what's left over. This is what we have. I kind of want to taste it. It's very gushy. Are tempered eggs considered cooked or raw? That's a question for a scientist. And I'm a scientist. Let's call it raw. Let's say that we're raw. I would call them cooked, but I eat really runny eggs. Well, to each their own, you know? I like my eggs nice and wet. That's how I like it. So we have, if I did this correctly, we have Jerry Thomas's sleeper. If I did this correctly, we have Jerry Thomas's sleeper. Let's see. Wet eggs or cooked eggs? Dude, it rained most of the day over at where Annie's at. Oh, well, that's nice to hear. Thanks for bringing it over here. Appreciate that. So this seems to me like, oh, it's almost like an egg yolk nog of sorts. And I feel like, actually, I know that the recipe doesn't specifically call for it, but I feel like we need to put a little bit of cinnamon on top of that. Nah, let's do without. Let's do without and see if we need to modify it. It has a smell of... I can smell the rum, but the rum flavor has like transformed. It's like an old like kitchen cabinet that has sugar that's kind of crusted a little bit. Like it's got a woodsy cabinety to it. No garnish? I don't know. It doesn't call for a garnish. At least not from what I can tell. You know? That's really pleasant. That's really freaking pleasant. My goodness. It is like a warm lemon zest. Now that I think about it, this drink is actually not that warm. So I guess the egg solution was very, 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 very cold, relatively speaking. It's almost like drinking liquid lemon zest. And that's actually very, very nice. There is a wonderful, I'm getting the spice of, it's the cumin. It's definitely the cumin coming on after the fact. It's very interesting. I've never had that flavor in the back of my mouth before, but it is very, very light. It's nice and lukewarm. It honestly kind of tastes like leafiness, but like on the end of the palate. I actually do think that this would go with a little bit of garnished grated nutmeg. So I'm gonna do just a scant grated nutmeg. I feel like it deserves it. I feel like it deserved it. Yay, garnish! Woo! Is this the garnish you would have preferred? Is this the garnish you prefer? Yeah, only because it really didn't smell like too much before, I think it definitely deserves the nutmeg garnish. That is unlike any rum drink that I've had before. It is properly boozy. It could probably be warmer. I don't know if it was any part of the process that made it not so warm. I think it was just, there was relatively little amounts of water to the relatively large amount of the other ingredients that were cold. So this could definitely be warmer, but it's very pleasant. Like I said, it reminds me of a hot toddy without those powerful bourbon, like vanilla and clove notes, despite the fact that there is a noticeable amount of spice and clove in there. That cinnamon and clove kind of just plays a background. That cumin might have been a little too much to replace the coriander with, because it's like all cumin on the back of the tongue. But it's got a slight, not even tartness. It's not a tartness, it's not a sourness. I wouldn't even call it a sweetness. It is just a very lightly flavored, refreshing, almost warm lemon oil in a glass with a texture that is super tactile, because it's a bit dry from that egg yolk, but because of the warmth, it almost feels smooth. It's interesting. I've never tried one of Jerry Thomas's cocktails before, but here we have it. Here we have it. We have a Victorian era cocktail for a Victorian-inspired dad named Damien. The alliteration was really getting to me there. That was very, very interesting. This or the Death's Flip garnish, which looked awful on paper. It tasted like vanilla custard. It's the creamy, flippy portion of it. And this is technically not a flip, because I don't think there's enough of the flip in there to actually give this the components of that like crema up on top. And he says this or a pinch of cinnamon on top or some cloves to float on the top. I don't know if the cloves would actually fit. Let's try it. We're all about mixology around here. Will it float? Hell yeah, it floats. Look at that. Hell yeah, it floats. I wonder if that sinks at any point in time. I don't want that anymore. I don't want to accidentally slurp up a clove. Whoa, wow. Got on my fingers. That's great. Such a unique flavor from those cloves. You're absolutely right. Not a flip, but egg yolks are indeed magical. So this is what we have so far. So this was Jerry Thomas's sleeper cocktail that contained basically rum, an egg yolk, and a couple other spices of ingredients. It was actually very interesting. I don't know much about Jerry Thomas. I don't know much about other cocktails that reign from the Victorian era. So if anybody else out there has context for other Victorian style drinks, if you know of any Victorian style drinks that we should try, let me know. I'm curious to see what you've tried. I'm also curious to see if anybody else takes tempered egg yolks and makes them into a good cocktail, because I would like to try more of those. Any reason why it's called a sleeper? The website I found it from does not say. I quite literally looked up Victorian era cocktails, And this website came up and said, Jerry Thomas. And I was like, Jerry Thomas wasn't from the Victorian era. And when you do the math, he is. He is indeed from the Victorian era. And I honestly had no idea. So that was something I needed to learn on my part. But here we are. And so we continue onwards. I would think that if I had to guess of why it's called the Sleeper, it is most likely called the Sleeper, maybe, because it's a warmer drink, like a toddy. I don't know if toddies were around during this era or when it came to be, but it might have been one of those things that you drink before you go to sleep to ease yourself into the night, because it's warm, it's nice, it's making my insides feel all nice and warm. And that might either be from the actual lukewarmness of the drink or the potential for salmonella in my near future because of those egg yolks, which I believe are nice and cooked, you know? Let me grab my little trophy stand here and go back over here. To the folks out there who are mods, I have a new trick for you. This is for discoverability on Twitch. You didn't catch me do this before, but if you do set FND, it sets the category to food and drink, and if you do set game, it puts us right back to where we were with Dream Daddy. So now let's go back to Dream Daddy. That's a little fun, right? I think it's a little fun. It certainly helps with things, you know, all things considered. All right, let me get my microphone over here. Got things going. Get some Dream Daddy up in here. As we continue to sip our cocktail along the way, as we normally do things around here. It's nice and yellow. It's got a very radioactive thing to it. This is a think I will totally remember. That's okay. I need to get like a nice cheat sheet for y'all. I don't do that. I'm not very nice to my mods. I could be nicer. So I teased you all with it already. We're dating Damien. Damien is this goth fellow. He wears a cape, for goodness sakes. And last time we found ourselves inside of his house where he showed us his little lepidoptery taxidermy collection, which is dead butterflies all pinned against the wall. Just give me a secret channel in Discord that has all the things. That is a good idea, Brad. Wouldn't it be funny if the mods here are also mods of the Discord? What a great idea. Continue on with Damien and Blood March's little dad book profile here. On Friday nights, he's most likely to listen to true crime podcasts while I taxidermy my newest specimens, which I feel like I should have known about already. Damien's 100% a vampire. I mean, look at those eyes, my god. If you had one thing to take with you onto a desert island, it'd be a coffin. Turn-ons, pronouncing bosom correctly. I guess you'd be turned on by that. Bosom, Higgs bosom? What did you want to be when you grew up? A bat. Foreign art house horror is the favorite movie genre. What's your ideal date? It's night. We're at an industrial darkwave club in Berlin. The music drums to the beat of our hearts. That's actually very romantic. What do you never leave home without? An upside-down cross. If you left home with just a regular cross, does it suffice enough to just turn it back the other direction? Or does that not count? Can I take my 90-degree counterclockwise rotated cross with me? Is that mutual? Like, is that hot? And I spend a lot of time thinking about mortality salience. Alexa, volume 7. Alexa, what is mortality salience?
Mortality salience is the awareness that one's death is inevitable.
I think about my mortality all the time. I didn't realize that made it salient, though. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Thanks, Alexa. Losing it over Higgs boson particle. It's a particle. It's a subatomic particle. Science is really cool. Or something like that. I don't really know. Oh, actually, I'm going to test something. I thought that was a really funny moment. Let's see if this works. I don't know if it does. Oh my god, wow. I think it worked. That's cool. By the way, everybody, we have a clip command now. And I think it just worked. I don't know if it did. That's cool. I'll check that out afterwards. Damien seemed really interesting. A little odd, but interesting. I think I should hang out with him to get him to know him a little better. I navigate to Damien's dad book page and I type out a message. Hey dude, you seem cool. We should hang out sometime. I sit there for a minute before I see Damien's typing. See that Damien is typing. That's a proper grammar there. But then he keeps on typing. And typing. Man, is this guy writing a novel? I leave the computer to make some coffee. I think what's more likely is he's typing on a really long message and constantly thinking and rethinking what that typing is supposed to be. And it's gonna be like, yeah. And he's still typing. I sip on my Victorian era cocktail. And the computer finally dings. Consumption! Cameron, I must... Oh my god, holy crap. Excuse me. I don't really know what cumin tastes like. Not specifically. But I feel like that tastes a lot like cumin. Specifically. Thank you, garlic. And actually, I should probably be drinking water. Damien responds with, Cameron, I must confess my excitement to be receiving your kind letter, for as you see, I do find myself available to enjoy your company. I must ask for your forgiveness, however, as I believe our first meeting did not paint me in as gentlemanly manner as I would have liked. And there's more. I would be highly flattered to enjoy your companionship at my residence for an afternoon tea and a stroll around my garden, should it please you. Till then, adieu. Yours humbled, D. Blood March. I stare at the screen, and I reread the letter several more times. And then I ponder that my Google Pixel phone now, the message app, has a little AI integrated in it. Everything's got freaking AI in it. I love it. I can take any one of my messages and transform into Shakespearean text. Literally, type anything you want in the chat. I'm gonna have my Google turn it into Shakespeare. Hey, Amanda! Can you help me with something? Dad, for the last time, I'm not popping your back pimples. Ew, daughter, please. No. No. Can you interpret this message for me? Huh. I turn the computer to Amanda and she squints at Damien's message. I just don't understand NetSpeak, let alone carrier pigeon messaging on the internet. Like, is this how you kids communicate with each other now? Is it all with the adieus and the mon flaws and et ceteras? Oh, totally. This is a hot new thing. See, Dad, kids got over saying lol and lamau or whatever and decided that what they needed to do was bring it back to the 1800s, the Victorian era. So what do I do? Well, there's this app now in the Google phone that you have that actually takes things and turns them into a Shakespearean thing. But you probably don't even know how to use that. But do you have a pen and quill somewhere? What? Did you forget to unpack the pen and quill? Dad, how will we address the nobleman in regards to your upcoming debutante ball? Okay, now I know you're messing with me. Father, without a proper chaperone, you'll never end up with a suitor worthy of our land. Or our dowry. Oh. So you read Pride and Prejudice for school one time, and now you're reciting things you know about it back to me? Aren't you? That's what you're doing, huh? Like, the first 5 pages, then I read a review of the movie. Still gotta be, though. Great. So what do I say to Damien? I got this. Amanda reaches over and types on the keyboard. Sure thing, dude. Regards, Cameron. Wait, actually, this is perfect. This is absolutely perfect. Sure thing, dude. Exclamation point. Let's see. Actually, here's yeah, sure thing, dude. There's a little pencil with a little sparkly thing on it, and I can say, I want you to read sure thing, dude, as Shakespeare. And my options are, verily, my good fellow. Verily, verily, I shall do as thou sayest, my good fellow. Verily, I shall do thy bidding, my good man. And verily, I shall attend to thy bidding, good sir. So here's a hot tip. Instead of using the term sure, use verily, and you'll sound more Shakespearean, Victorian, and otherwise refined. Verily, Amanda hits send and smiles at me. Well, I suppose that's that. I make the short walk over to Damien's house and try not to be spooked by all the gargoyles. I guess you can't really call it a house. It's more of a manor? Estate? The Gothic architecture looms above the other homes in the cul-de-sac. I walk past a couple of gargoyles guarding the front door, garging the front door, and look around for a doorbell. There doesn't seem to be one. I pull the large, ornately carved bat's head door knocker back, and a hollow sound echoes throughout the house as I strike it against the door. I wait several moments before the door slowly but surely creaks open. It's a little creepy, but I enter the home and take a few steps into the foyer, noting the oil portraits of who I assume are dead relatives hanging on the wall. How very And oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And a dog! And a lot of skulls. And little accoutrement. And tiny sandwiches. I love that. And an active fire? Dude. All right. As I'm admiring them, the front door slams shut behind me. Hello? Silence. An oil lamp in the corner flickers dimly, casting ominous shadows against the wall. Why do I feel like all the people in these paintings are staring straight at me? Why is it so cold in here? Where's Damien? Cameron! Pleasure to have you in my home. I look up, and I see Damien standing at the top of a majestic staircase with a walking candle holder? Look at Mr. Two Couches in here. It's too fancy, my god. Oh my god. It's only 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Why is it so dark? What's with the door slamming shut? You got one of those little piston things that, like, close it shut behind you because you're trying to save for, like, a draft and heating is just too expensive? Oh, sorry. There was a draft. And the door creaking open when I knocked? The other half of the story? I accidentally left the door unlocked. And the creepy oil paintings? The part that I left out because they're still staring at me? I like oil paintings. Right. Right. Please, let me show you around. Okay. Spooky. Spooky, spooky. Damien leads me around his house, showcasing his parlor, sitting room, auxiliary sitting room, and the parlor again for some reason.
Oh.
This is one of the older homes in the block, yes, but nowhere near as old as the architecture might suggest. Through extensive renovations, I've been able to craft a residence that is both historically accurate to the Victorian period and equipped with the amenities of any modern dwelling. You want candlesticks? We got it. You want electricity? You got it. You want a propane stove and an electric stove? We only have electric, but anyways. We walk past a door covered in bumper stickers, caution tape, and a black parade poster. This is your son's room. Did they listen to My Chemical Romance in the Victorian era? That's my son's room. You know how rebellious teenage years are. Onward, onward. Come on, there's more to see. Hello, Cammy C. Hello, Emily. We reach a door at the end of the hall that Damien opens with a flourish. And this is the library. Sunlight streams in from the floor, ceiling, arched windows. The walls are lined with packed bookshelves and even more books. They're scattered over the period-appropriate furniture. Damien is clearly really proud of this room. I already know about the butterfly. Like, buddy, I've been here before. Like, do you... It's game logic. He probably doesn't remember. I'm gonna look at the butterflies. I walk up to the glass display of pinned bugs on the wall. It's pretty impressive. Nice bugs. I pinned them all myself. Maybe I could show you how sometime? You already did. I'm concerned I would stick the pin right through my finger. Ah, the pin is gambit. Is that a thing? No. Okay. Look out the window. It's enough of the tour. I'll look out the window. I'll brood while looking out the window. I walk to the window, and I'm greeted by a beautiful view of Damien's backyard. I consider my mortality for the 3rd time this stream. It showcases a beautiful view of the rest of the cul-de-sac. Hey! I can see Craig on his lawn. He's doing push-ups with his daughters on his back. Nice. Backyard. Damn, you have the whole view of the neighborhood. He sees me and waves happily, doing push-ups with one hand. We've established the canon that Craig is under the impression and knows that Damien watches him, or looks up often at Damien's window and is delighted enough to see that I'm here. Damn. Did you know that Victorians spent at least 20 hours a week gazing longingly out full-length windows? Wait, really? No, but Victorians did appreciate telling a good joke. You know, Cameron, in the Victorian era, there was some controversy surrounding reading. Many people thought the more Tarstreet novels would encourage youths into a life of crime and would cause too much of a distraction from work and school. I pull out a book. Do I have any books back here? I don't. I'm illiterate. Opening it, I turn to a random page and read aloud. Naruto struggled against the chains that Sasuke had bound him with. Shirtless and out of breath, he looked up at Sasuke. Sasuke smirked. unbuttoning his ninja pants. What? Okay, I think that's enough. Bro, it's my kind of smut. Bring back Ice Planet Barbarians. Damien snaps the book shut and puts it back on the shelf. That's a rare book from my private collection. Please don't look around. This man has bound fan fiction, and you should too. It allows the pages to be a little less worn. It allows it to contribute to the, really last the test of time. Annie, I'm sure you're familiar. Please, will you join me for tea? I hope that's not a metaphor. Or maybe I do hope it's a metaphor. I'm not really sure whether we're into it or not yet. I follow Damien to his sitting room where finger foods have already been set upon a beautiful tiered silver tray. I take a seat on one of the high-backed chairs as Damien pours and serves me some tea. I can't believe we're having a high tea. I never thought I'd get to do this. This is great. Oh. Damien smiles to himself, considering the vast collection of the Percy Jackson series and Greek mythological fanfics that he also has in his collection. Just like Annie. What? Oh. It's a common misconception that high tea refers to the wealth or class of the people enjoying it, when in fact the high refers to absolutely smoking that dank. But also the latter time of the day, that the working class had to enjoy tea in the height of the tables on which they were served. Did you see this table over here? It's close to the ground. Ironic. Oh. My dear friend, we're currently enjoying afternoon tea. That's informative. Damien takes a seat next to me and serves me a tiny little sandwich. I know a lot of goths in Maple Bay. I like your cape. I do like your cape. I like your cape. It's a cloak, actually, but thank you. Victorian fashion is very important to me. You pull it off quite well. Oh, thank you. Regardless of my historical leanings, it's very important to me to present myself very well. It's taken a long time to come up with a style that's both true to form and representative of myself, but I'm very happy with how I dress. I do get some strange looks, yes, but it's something that brings me a great deal of joy, so I don't really mind. To be able to wake up in the morning, pick from my closet a variety of cloaks, waistcoats, top hats, and even binders that are period appropriate feels amazing. You wear top hats? You don't? What got you so interested in goth stuff? Oh. Well, when I was a young boy, my father... Did she take you into the city? Sorry? Did you guys see a marching band? I'm afraid I don't understand. You're serious? Of course. But it's like, it's the song. It's literally this. Amanda made me listen to it. Seriously? I'd love to see a marching band. Nevertheless, I've always had a love for art, history, and fashion. What started off as a small hobby of collecting taxidermy animals grew into sort of an obsession. It's a privilege to be able to appreciate the lives and culture of those who came before us. I think so, at least. Why not go all the way? I like not dying when I catch a cold. He takes a sip of his tea, same dude. He's not an MCR boy. That's a Matt joke. When I was sipping tea, I can acknowledge that there were many very terrible things about the Victorian era, and I try to live a life that strictly aligns with those ideals, be admittedly horrid. But I think it takes a critical mind to truly appreciate something to the fullest, to be cognizant of its flaws and love it all the same. Tell me, Cameron, do you have any hobbies? Oh man, I do. First, let me tell you about this drinking thing that I do at least twice or 3 times a week. But I don't know if I care about anything the way that you care about this stuff. Spits at my own hobbies. Well, I'd love to hear about your interests. Hearing someone talk about the things they're passionate about is intriguing and, quite honestly, rather attractive. Please, do tell me about your hobbies. Like, sound sophisticated. Composure. I drink eggs on the internet. It's very impressive, I know. Sometimes it's not just eggs. Sometimes I mix it with other things. And sometimes there's at least 5 people watching. Hi there, I'm a live streamer. We finish our tea and finger sandwiches. Come! I have one more thing to show you! Let's continue! Off we go. How was that? Was that a good elevator pitch? Damien takes me around the back of his home, which looks absolutely freaking gorgeous, and there's at least 2 more gargoyles. And a lot of scribbly drawn, like, flowers and stuff. I like that energy. Damien takes me around the back of his home where a variety of flowers flourish in beautifully landscaped rows. A small stone path weaves through it, and butterflies flit lazily through the air. My garden. It's beautiful. Thank you. The Victorians took flowers and floral arrangements very, very seriously. You see, it was considered uncouth to discuss personal and romantic relations in public, so lovers and friends alike would use bouquets to send secret messages to each other. Each flower and plant is symbolic of different feelings. Even more interesting is that one flower could mean different things depending on the other plants it was paired with. One had to be extremely careful, as even the style in which the ribbon was tied around the bouquet affected the message. Damien leans down and he plucks a beautiful orange flower off of the brine. The cinnamon flower. Lilium bulbiferum, the orange lily with cinnamon. What do you think this one means? My loins are ablaze. 3 cheers for sweet revenge. My loins are ablaze. Is he? He was the one who brought up lovers first. Okay. The orange lily is actually symbolic of pure hatred. Thou art the tightest. Well then. And that's precisely why floral arrangement is so challenging. What's your favorite type of flower? I like peonies. They're funny to say. Honeysuckle? Snapdragons? I like honeysuckle. They smell really good. Oh, come on, Cameron! You've never suckled a honeysuckle before? And then you can eat the tiniest little drop of nectar when you pull the stem out. Okay, classy, classy. Yeah, we're catching up. I'll have to remember that when I put together a bouquet for you. But what's the meaning of the honeysuckle? Does that mean my loins are ablaze? He would put together a bouquet for me. Well, nobody's ever given me a bouquet before. I follow Damien down the footpath and admire more of his beautiful flowers. Suddenly a phone rings. That was an awesome ringtone. Oh, Cameron, will you excuse me? I must take this. He pulls a cell phone out of his pocket. I'm a little surprised it's not a rotary phone at this point. Go for it. Damien smiles, and he walks away. Back to the house, I take a deep breath and enjoy the heavily perfumed air. What a lovely yard. I just became very acutely aware that the apartment smells really, really, really good. I wonder what's going on in the basement. What was that? It smells really good. Are you not taking a bath or something?
Oh, I took one earlier.
When? Oh, it's Anna's bath water that smells good. It was rose scented. Let's just say it's egg soup instead and not make things weird as this man talks about his partner. What a lovely yard. A beautiful yard. I like eggs too. This makes me wish I had to put a little more effort into that garden Amanda and I tried to start one time. Our watermelons grew to the size of cherry tomatoes and then punctually died. But hey, look at that, it's a gargoyle. Oh, shit! I knocked over the gargoyle! That's me knocking over the gargoyle. Gamer Girl bathwater for sale went. JK, Anna's not a gamer girl. Not a sponsor. Did you hear about the beer that's being made from Amareth's vaginal yeast? No, I am not kidding. And no, I will not be providing any more context on that until we taste it ourselves. Anna, don't judge me. Fix the garg. I'm gonna fix the garg while not garglingly messing things up. Oh, hello. Oh, hi there. Oh, hello there. Hello there. Hello there. Hello there. Hello there. I don't think this is correct. I don't think this is correct. Is it this one? Is it this one? Oh, it's definitely this one. There we go. Oh, and then oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's totally it. That's totally it. There we go. There we go. I will judge you. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. I'm not even kidding. How did I do? Yes! Plus! That's very good. I totally fixed the gargoyle. He'll never know. Whew, that was a close one. Uh-oh. Here comes Damien. He's looking upset. Cameron! My sincerest apologies to have kept you waiting. There's an urgent matter that I must attend to, so I'm afraid I must take my leave. That's no problem, dude. Everything okay? Damien worries the hem of his coat. Worries. It's a verb about my clothes. With his fingers, and he looks away. Everything's perfectly fine. But it's Lucien. What's wrong? He appears to have, his teacher needs me to come to the school. Post haste. Do you need help? Oh, no. You don't have to. Come on, let me come with you. Us dads gotta stick together. We gargled together. Gargoyled together. You have gargoyles. Not thinking about the gargoyle anymore. You're right. This is one of Lucien's more elaborate stunts. I would greatly treasure having another parent by my side. Let's go! Verily! Damien and I walk into the school and are immediately greeted by an anxious-looking Hugo. Hey, Damien. You're here in record time. I wouldn't miss it for the world, dear friend. Wow, well, whatever it is, it doesn't seem like this is Hugo and Damien's first time to the My Kids Are in Trouble rodeo. What is it this time? This, Damien, you have to see to believe. Oh, yeah? Damien and I fall into step behind Hugo, who leads us through the busy corridors of the school. We pass by several classes in session, and I vaguely wonder if Amanda's around. Hugo eventually ushers us into a small boiler room with a flight of rickety stairs leading down into the darkness. Watch your step. Watch your step. I can hear faint voices drifting up from the basement, and they don't sound happy. As I'm led into the depths of the school, I recall the antics I got into as an angsty middle schooler. At least I had enough sense to stay out of the creepy basements. Oh my. We find another teacher in a boiler room tucked away in the back of the basement. With him are Lucien and Ernest, Hugo's son. The troublemakers. Lucien has a bloody nose. Oh my. Oh. Thank you for coming. I can't make heads or tails of this. I look around the scene of the crime. I see a bunch of bricks and some masonry tools all kind of scattered around. What happened here? Ernest punched me. Lucien tried to kill me. What? The room falls silent. I was not trying to kill you, dumbass. I was just trying to build a brick wall around you and see what would happen. You promised me there was wine down there. You tricked me. Whoa. Wait a second. Lucien, did you try to cask of Amontillado, Ernest? I'm neither confirming nor denying that. I turn to Damien and I whisper to him, What's a cask of Amontillado? It's a classic Edgar Allan Poe short story where a man gets his enemy drunk, lures him down into the cellar with the promise of wine of a fine vintage, and then buries him alive behind a brick wall. It's a lovely story. So wait, Lucien, you tried to do that to him? I was curious to see how it would turn out. I wasn't actually going to leave him there. What was the thought process here? That Ernest was just going to sit still while you slowly built a tomb around him? Well, it worked for like 20 minutes because he's an idiot. But then he realized that I had lied about the wine. And you were cackling maniacally. That sort of tipped me off. Ernest, 20 minutes? Dad! Huh? It took you 20 minutes. Son, we just did an entire 2-week unit on the cask of Amontillado, and it took you 20 minutes to realize Lucien was leading you into an elaborate ruse. Did you even read the story? I read the first 5 pages and then read a review of the movie. What? It's only 5 pages long. There is no movie. Yeah, you're right. I paid Lucien to read it for me. Actually, he didn't even pay me. So when you think about it, this was me teaching him a lesson. Damien and Hugo both have their heads in their hands. You guys are all telling me to engage in the literature, and I did. I don't see a problem there. All right, I'm filing this under What the hell? Don't do whatever that was again. You two were both suspended for a week. Ernest and Lucien, give it a big ol' high five. The teacher starts to stomp up the stairs angrily. Hugo, I'll cover your class. Take your son home. Mr. Bloodmarch, you too. Thank you for your mediation. We all head up the stairs and out of the school in a very tense silence. I need more egg yolk in my glass. Essence of egg yolk. There's a lot of bits of what I assume to be cumin at the bottom of this. Yeah. There's way too much cumin in this. Huh. That's what mixology is all about. It's about getting familiar with the flavors, getting nice and intimate with them, especially when it's an Amontillado cask in a basement with children behind mason brick walls. Lucien, Damien, and I all pile into my car and begin to drive home. Lucien immediately puts his hood up and stares out the window angrily. I'm not going to therapy again.
Oh, no.
I know, son. It's entirely up to you whether or not you want to go. But I care about you, and I can see that you're struggling, so if you decide that you would like to speak to a professional about your feelings, we can do that too. Maybe you could spend time this week looking for a summer job? I know how much you want your own car. Can't believe Damien's keeping his cool. I'm impressed. Fine. Thanks for not freaking out too hard. I love you, son. Lucien continues staring out of the window. Love you too. Aw. We spend the rest of the drive in relative silence, pondering over the taste of cumin in the air. The moment we pull into the driveway, Lucien hops out of the car, slams the door, and runs inside. I didn't expect to have that conversation in front of you. He and I have a lot we need to work out. It's all right, and all things considered, Lucien's bricklaying was actually pretty good. So there's your silver lining. There is that. Yes. Probably just go into their phase. I really admire how you handled it. No, seriously. I really admire how you handled it. That was excellent. Better than I would have done. You were a lot more diplomatic with him than I would have been. I just want what's best for him. I don't think yelling at him would do either of us any favors. It rarely does. You're a good dad. See you around soon? It would be my honor. And my pleasure. Damien bows with a flourish with his cloak. Classy. I come home to find Amanda curled up on the couch with a blanket watching TV. And I plop on down next to her. Yo! What you watching? Tiny House Hunting Brothers? Extreme Edition. I hate this show. The couple on screen bickers back and forth while standing in an extremely small house made of recycled bottles. The Tiny House Hunting Brothers watching them with bemused expressions, both of their heads touching the low ceiling. They're small. The house is small. The brothers are big. I told you I wanted a two-bed, two-bath, shabby chic cottage. This house doesn't even have a bathroom. But honey, the old house is only 20 yards away. It's not that bad. I'm not pooping outside, Greg. Why don't they just get a regular-sized house? I don't know. How'd afternoon tea go? It got strange. I had to go to the school to pick up Lucien, since he tried to... He lured Ernest down to the cellar with the promise of a fine vintage and tried to brick him up into the wall, right? And how did you know that? Wait, has everybody read this story except for me? Lucien live-streamed the whole thing. This entire day is completely beyond me. But otherwise, it was a fun day. That Damien guy's a character, but he's really good company, and a surprisingly diplomatic dad. I dig his style. You know what? Me too. I do like that kid's style. I don't even know how old he is. I'm hoping for an S rank. That felt really good. That felt Victorian.
That was a phenomenal date.
What is this word? Oyusma? Oyusama? Alexa, what's Oyusama?
I missed something. Can you say it again?
No, I'm not gonna even try.
I'm sorry, but this device does not support that
You
feature.
got dads.
Alexa, volume 5. Oh my god. I got dads. I got some dads. Dads, and dads. Yeah, it seems like... Oh my god, I just noticed how many messages I have from Craig. What do we have? We have Hugo and Craig. Human and Craig, that's the only two who are left. Maybe I should go through all of those notifications next week and just get like hella close to Craig. We're pros, you know? We're pros, and I've been ignoring all of his messages. Damien. What are you and Hugo up to? What do you... No, that's not the right button. I'm gonna go back. How do I go back? Wait, I wanna go back. Oh, there's the back button. What is this message about? Hey, are you up to anything tonight? Hugo and I were planning to go to the art walk downtown, and we wondered if you would care to accompany us. I would normally write a letter longhand, but I've run out of distressed parchment paper. Whoa, can I see Damien and Hugo's chat? Whoa, why can't I see Damien and Hugo's chat? Am I a hacker? But I don't even have a hacker alias. The feds are gonna bust down my door any minute now. I've gotta destroy this computer. Cameron, this is a group chat. Oh, thank God. Do either of you guys know how to destroy a computer? You can run Derek's book and nuke from a startup flash drive. You can run Derek's boot and nuke from a startup flash drive, but once you've done that, it's best to physically destroy the platters altogether. Ellipses. The Victorians were well versed in information security. Cameron, do you want to go see some art or not? Art is good. I like art. Let's go see the art. To art! I may have done a lot of boot and nuke in my day. It's easy. Just write 0 to every single cell on the optical disc. Duh. It's obvious. Damien and Hugo invited me to the monthly art walk in downtown Maple Bay. I've never really been to one of these before, so I'm not quite sure what I'm in for. I think I'm actually here a bit early. I don't see Damien and Hugo anywhere, and I feel just a little uncomfortable standing among all these fancy art people. No, you gotta write random 0s and 1s all over it several times. It's a whole thing. Oh, okay. But like 0s are cool, or 1s, and or being a... Let's Zor the whole thing. But if it's really random, it's not really random at all, because like pseudo-random ability, you know, that's what exists in computers. Anyways. But now that we're cool and have SSDs, I don't know how it works. It's all just solid-state drives. It's the same similar thing, but those cells are just a different technology. It's cool stuff. Cameron? I don't know who this is. I turn around. It's Joseph. Joseph, what are you doing here? What am I doing here? How could you ask me that? I'm obviously a huge art appreciator. Appreciatist?
Oh. Oh.
Okay, fine. Damien invited me to this art walk thing. I'm guessing he invited you too? Yep. Admittedly, a little out of my depth here. Not gonna lie. Thank God. I thought I was gonna be the odd one out. Are you allowed to say that? Say what? You know, thank God. Yep. I actually get double points when I say it, since I'm a minister.
Oh.
The points get you into heaven. That's how it works. Anyway, where are the guys? I look and I spot Hugo and Damien, who seem to have just arrived at the gallery. Good eve. Good eve. Good eve. Good eve. Good eve. Evening. Friends.
Oh.
Who's ready for some art? You know I have no idea. Art is dead and nothing is real. Oh my God. I wouldn't say that. I really don't know what I'm in for. Same.
Oh.
All you have to know is that if you're ever feeling overwhelmed, there's generally always a table that has free wine and cheese. I like art now! I've got the table in my sights. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go help myself to some tiny wines. Talk art with Hugo and Damien? Get cheese and tiny wine? I'm here for Damien, damn it! So what's this first place?
Oh.
This particular artist specializes in landscape painting of various locales within the American Northeast. Huh. I look at the art. It is pretty rad art. At the risk of sounding uninformed, do all of these landscapes look like butts to you guys?
Oh.
Damien and Hugo, they lean in, examining the paintings in earnest. It would appear as if you are correct. Valid assessment, Cameron. Hey, you know, this art stuff's pretty easy. When when you look at things and you see one circle and you see another circle and that's a butt. Oh, it gets more complicated. Sometimes the butts are more symbolic. Sometimes the butts are metaphors. Sometimes art is about the butts that they don't draw. Interesting. Fine art, as Joseph returns to the group with tiny cheese and wine. What'd I miss? Butts. Shame. The cheese is nice, though. Shall we visit the next place? I hope it's more butts. It's not really butts. Butsy. Are they bosom? Are they Higgsy? We leave the first gallery and walk a few minutes before we reach another one. This gallery's a bit more crowded. Huge paintings of... I'm not even sure. They hang on the walls. They're hanging, yeah. Oh. Jeez. What am I looking at here? It's very pink. It's kind of marbly. I'm getting feelings of depression just by looking at it. This is abstract art. I think the more important question is, what does this art mean to you? I stare at the painting, concentrating as hard as I can on its meaning. Represents strife. Reminds me of my childhood. It's a metaphor for the human condition. It's a metaphor for the human condition. It seems to be an attempt to visually represent a universal experience. That's really powerful, Cameron. Care to expound upon it? With pleasure. Just kidding. It's a but. With pleasure. These vivid, simple forms communicate a solemnity that is betrayed by the raw expressiveness of the art brushwork, which, in a way, speaks to the essential nature of human experience. The scars left by the passage of time and the turmoil of contemporary life are both contextualized and deepened by the rose-colored echoes of pre-Oedipal consciousness. Slow down there, Cameron. Can you do us a favor and keep it simple? It's a butt! Everyone else stares at the painting. Pondering. Yeah, that's definitely a butt. While a valid assessment, I can't help feeling your initial judgment may be closer to the artist's intentions. Maybe you're underestimating how much the artist liked butts. You are a servant of the Lord. We're all God's creatures. Even butts. Comparing this piece to the artist's body of work, I'm pretty sure this represents the sense of isolation he feels creating traditional abstract artwork in a field that's rapidly moving towards digitization. Wow, how'd you figure that out? That's what it says on the placard. Let's look at a few more of these. And then we walk around the gallery, sampling more of the artist's work. I almost hate to say it, but abstract art is kind of growing on me. It's interesting that the artist chooses not to let their work be defined by realism. It's realism. Brad remarks on a time when they were in PHL, the good old Philly, and got into the museum for free. The first exhibit was literally all butts. The Philadelphia Museum of Art is a very interesting place to go, and I would pretend that there were not butts there, but the abstract art does remind me of butts. And actually, some of them remind me of just very explicit sexual encounters. For example, they got a little pin, this is how I remember it, of these two little stone people just embraced together. It looks like a brick, but upon closer inspection, they're vigorously making out. But like frozen still in time. It's actually quite hot. The first exhibit is all male nudes. Yeah, dude. But like, what if it's the butt that they didn't draw? It's the butt within the butt. Thinking with your artsy brain here, Brad. We talked to the old docent for like 10 minutes about how much he likes it. Ooh. Oh my. I'm treated like jazz. Fine jazz. As we're looking at one of these jazzy paintings, a patron scoffs loudly. I could do that. Excuse me.
What?
Hugo, not here? No. Come back here. The patron walks away, not noticing Hugo fuming right next to him. You say you could do that, but you didn't. You don't seem to have the intellectual depth or the artistic skill to execute a piece of even a fraction as impressive as this one. Art is the truest expression of the self, and it seems like your self is so bad. Your art would be bad. Hugo's insult game isn't the best, but there's no denying that he's got passion behind those words. Damien's holding him back at this point, like kind of like a friend. He's not worth it, my guy. He's not worth it. Hugo cools down for a little bit, smooths out his jacket. I'm sorry. I love art very much. We know, buddy. It's all good. Pat Hugo on the shoulder.
Oh.
You know what would ease the mood? Is it cheese? No. It's wine and cheese. Co-signed. Let's get for it. The four of us head over to the wine and cheese table, which thankfully is grounded in realism and is actual wine and cheese. Not like the exhibits that look like wine and cheese, or the exhibits that look like butts but actually are butts, or the ones that are actually butts but don't look like butts. It's one long big butt joke. A bulbous butt joke, if you will. We got one last stop on the tour. You were not feeling up to it? Is it going to be any weirder than this art over here? This pink stuff. It is absolutely weirder than this art. Let's do it. Is it butts? Oh, Damien, Hugo, Joseph, and I walk over to a performance in the street. Several masked performers in leotards undulate wildly on the ground, screaming both at each other and at us. So, quick question. Shoot. What's happening? I second this question. Performance art. What does it mean? Again, I pose the very same question to you, Mr. With an X. Fear of existence, the very humanity of being human. They really like screaming. But what do you think they're trying to say? I believe it's less about what they're saying and more about why they're saying it. I don't think there's something special about performance art. With almost every other form of art, music, painting, photography, etc., the artist uses their medium as a conduit to their emotions. With performance art, the medium is the artist. It's the purest expression of raw human emotion. It's art as catharsis. That's beautiful, Damien. So what you're saying is, if I start making really loud fart noises right now, it's art as long as I, really mean it. Damien fixes him with a hard stare. I was going to start making fart noises, but based on the look on your face, that joke isn't going to play well with this crowd. Wise. We watch the rest of the performance as earnestly as we can and clap politely after the dancers kind of scream their way off stage, post-undulation. I think I'm all kind of arted out. Agreed. We all decided to walk home together. As one does. We make our way back to the cul-de-sac. Tiny wine, tiny cheeses, sloshing around in our stomachs, somehow not digested yet, or just one part, not just individual parts of a whole, just acidified glosses. I think what I've learned tonight, and not just what I've learned about art, which was nice and extremely informative, but what I've learned tonight is that when you put a bunch of tiny wine and tiny cheese together, it actually becomes a regular wine and regular cheese, followed by too much wine and too much cheese, with a little bit of butt. The tiny cheese lulled me into a false sense of security. I felt safe with the tiny cheese. Wax wings, too close to the sun. Oh dear, Icarus. Cheese wings. Those would melt in the sun too. And I feel like it's more appropriate imagery. And plus, it'd be delicious. A nice menthol air. Possibly. I don't know what that word is. Hey, if you guys were painters, what would you paint? I actually dabble in oils. I mostly paint landscapes, and not very good, but it's a nice way to pass the time. I think I would focus on personal portraits of people in unique professions like, for example, luchadors. I think I'd paint boats, seascapes, maybe some lighthouses, but mostly boats. Really? Yes, I'm surprised you're choosing boats in favor of a long history of religious imagery in artwork.
Oh.
What? Nah, man. Boats are cool.
Oh.
What about you, Cameron? Food artistry, landscapes, tasteful nudes of the artist? I'd probably go with food. Honestly, I doodle. I'm a cartoonist kind of guy.
Ah.
I'd probably do still lifes of various foods, bowls of fruit, a cocktail here and there, maybe some bread.
Oh.
Would there be cheese involved? See, I thought about that, and no. I can't stare at a pile of cheese for 8 hours without eating some of it, and that would kind of ruin the whole thing.
Oh.
Excellent point. We finally get to the cul-de-sac.
Oh.
All right, boys. Good art. Good art.
Oh.
Agreed.
Hey.
See you guys around. Whether you want to or not, we're all neighbors after all. I had decided to deal with my inevitable cheese over. It's like a hangover, but with way too much cheese in the belly.
You've got dads.
I got some dads, all right. That was good stuff. I don't know if that got us any closer to Damien, or anybody else for that matter, but I'm gonna see more about this. I want him to show me the taxidermy on his own, without, like, other provocation. Otherwise, it just doesn't seem as right, you know? I had a lot of fun hanging out with Damien the other day. I wonder what he's up to. I'll open up Dad book and start writing him a message when Amanda walks in through the door. Dad, you got a letter. Oh. Is it from Grandma? No, it's from Damien. Whoa. Can I see it? I get a letter. It looks like cloves in a container. Old parchment, folded into an envelope, shaping like a rectangular prism, and sealed with purple wax and a screw-on cap. Damn, this dude goes all out. And it even smells like Christmas. I pry off the seal and unfold the letter in the most beautiful calligraphy. The letter reads... Ingredients, cloves, distributed by Whole Foods Market, Austin, Texas, 78703, at 2022, copyright Whole Foods Market IPLP. And below that, I unscroll the rest of the text, all very, very finely written and beautifully calligraphied. Dearest Cameron, I hope you'll find my continued correspondence endearing rather than trying. One can only hope that my use of the slower, more traditional form of communication will showcase my sincere and earnest sentiment that I greatly enjoyed our time together. I wrote this hastily under the warm embrace of excitement, fearful that I may misstep and speak towards something unwelcome. For now, I hope that you might forgive my boldness. I will simply say that your company has greatly occupied my thoughts. While the afternoon may have been derailed by forces unforeseen, your companionship helped a great deal, not only in the discipline of my child, but in the morale of my spirit. And for that, I thank you. That said, Cameron, if you'll allow me, it would mean the world to me if I could enjoy more of your time. Perhaps a trip to the cinema, followed by a moonlit stroll, would be to your taste. I eagerly await your response. With great respect. De Blood March. Amanda and I both look up from the letter, me from my box of cloves. Wow. He's good. He's very good. So you gonna catch a movie with him? Yeah. I better message him on Dad Book and just kind of let him know. Amanda slaps the laptop shut. You have to write him back. A real letter. But my handwriting looks like two toddlers fighting over a crayon. Dad, you have to. He wrote you a letter. That's so cool. Will you help me? I need to kind of class this thing up. Father, I was made for this. And here's what you do. Find tickets to a show that you two will like, then enclose them in the letter. Oh, that's classy. Amanda and I hop into the laptop and produce some showtimes. Looks like Wonka's playing in theaters. The one with Timothy Chalamet. I feel like Damien would get a kick out of that one. He doesn't seem like a romantic comedy kind of guy. Neither a small little chocolate wonderland kind of guy. Oh, here's one. Vampire Crusade 2. Evil Never Dies. I don't know, that sounds kind of stupid. Actually, it's a critically acclaimed exploration into the ennui of existence. It really turns the vampire trope on top of its head. Really? Nah. There's just lots of blood and vampire titles. Welp. Let's roll the dice. I purchase the tickets and print them out, then sit down at the table with Amanda and try to draft a nice letter. I begin the writing. Damien. I do... No. No. Good. You like butts, son? Not sure if this checks out, but it looks fine to me. What's next? Remember when your son tried to amonolato that kid? I bet he got pretty annoyed. I must confess to my amateur control of the written word. Oh, we're gonna make this look good. I'm gonna make this look fine good. Jeez, Dad, have some faith in yourself. Okay, we're trucking along. Let him know how you're feeling. That Ernest shit was pretty messed up. I did very much enjoy the adventure we found ourselves on last night. You find me in good spirits, for I felt very much the same after our last encounter. Nice. Ask him to hang out already. True art takes time, Amanda. While Bruegel's landscape with the fall of Icarus, I find myself lost in your details. Dad. Whoa. I saw it on TV. I'm not an actually intelligent person. I can't even spell smart. Bring it home, Pops. Let me take you out. I got 2 tickets to the movie. It would bring me great pleasure to escort you to the cinema. Yeah. Smooth. Calling it the cinema. Very classy move. Enclosed, you'll find 2 tickets to Vampire Crusade 2, Evil Never Dies, which I'm sure you'll find both titillating and enjoyable. Best wishes, hard daps, namaste. We'll carry on! And then I sign my name. My full name. It's fancier that way. We'll carry on! Cameron with an X! Cameron with an X. Is that okay? The man reads over my sloppy handwriting. Oh my god. Damien, good morrow to you on this fine eve. I must confess of my amateur control of the written word as well as my even more amateur penmanship. Your letter found me in good spirits, for I felt very much the same after our last encounter. Like Bruegel's landscape with the fall of Icarus, I find myself lost in your details. It would bring me great pleasure to escort you to the cinema. Enclosed, you'll find 2 tickets to Vampire Crusade 2, Evil Never Dies, which I'm sure you'll find both titillating and enjoyable. We'll carry on! We'll carry on! Cameron with an X! You spelled his name wrong. What? Nah, just trying to keep you on your toes. Why you gotta dope me like that, Amanda? Incredible. Can I see it with tape? That's not authentic enough. I have an idea. I'll be right back. Amanda leaves the room and returns with a candle, a lighter, and a small piece of wood. You gotta have a wax seal. She lights the candle, which starts to burn down and form a pool of melted wax. And what's the other thing? Amanda pours some of the wax onto the folded leather and expertly presses the small piece of wood onto it. She lets it dry for a second and pulls the wood away, revealing... Here it is, your sigil. A little kitten with a bow on its head. Awesome. Scrapbooking stuff always comes in a clutch. Well, I guess all there is to do is to deliver it to his doorstep now, huh? Oh, I thought we were getting a carrier pigeon to do it. I already called my guy. I have a pigeon guy. Marcus has the good pigeons. Sus. Don't get your pigeons from Anthony. They're no good. Sussier. I don't want to know if any of this is true. I head outside and walk over to Damien's house. I slip the letter into the slot in his door, and we head on home. Mission accomplished. Now we play the waiting game. Now night finally rolls around, where I'm supposed to meet with Damien. The next day he had left another beautifully crafted letter thanking me for mine and agreeing to the evening. Amanda helps me pick out a nice outfit, and I show up to the theater a little bit early. It's a chilly night, and the theater is kind of crowded, but it's still very nice. How do you do? I jump at the sound of his voice. Holy shit! It's Damien! He stormed in like March, because March storms in like a lion or something. I don't know, you're a vampire. You almost gave me a heart attack. How long were you there for? I don't know. I just walked up. My apologies for frightening you. Was that thunder? Is it gonna rain soon? I didn't hear anything. What?
Huh. What?
What?
Oh, no.
Regardless, the hour draws close. Shall we take our seats in the cinema? I must thank you again for purchasing our tickets. Please, allow me to repay the deed in Sour Patch Kids, or perhaps Milk Duds. Let's do it. We get in line to buy snacks. As we're waiting, I hear a familiar voice behind us. I swear to God if it's Brian. Ugh, my dad's here. It's Lucien. I turn around and find Lucien standing a few feet behind us with a gaggle of other goth kids.
Oh.
Lucien! How nice to see you. I didn't know you were coming to the theater. I'm glad to see you spending some quality time with your friends. Whatever, Dad. And what movie will you be attending tonight? My friends are making me see some kids movie about talking animals. I don't really care about it. Zootopia? Seems kind of weird. Fox looks cool, though.
Oh.
Did they actually call it Zootopia?
No, Anna. It's called Creative Embellishment.
Oh, okay. I was like, wow, that was...
They didn't even mention Zootopia. Well, I do hope you enjoy your evening. We'll be watching Vampire Crusade 2. Evil Never Dies.
Oh, my.
You? You're watching that? Yeah, I thought Damien would enjoy it.
Oh.
Good luck with that, Dad. Lucien rejoins his friends, and I look over to Damien, who's standing there, staring at me.
No, I'll give you a kiss.
Good night,
Good
my man.
night. Have fun, chat.
Don't let the vampires bite you
I don't...
on your way to the bedroom.
Ew.
Good luck with what? It's nothing. My son loves to tease. That sounds even weirder. Oh my God, no. No. When he's off to his bed. Don't talk about your son that way, my guy. We wait in line for a little longer, and Damien buys us some snacks. He seems a little nervous. I wonder what's wrong.
Huh.
Damien and I take our seats and settle in for the previews. Glancing at him, I can see that he's sweating profusely, and he's kind of gripping his armrest. Everything okay? Vampires, huh? Vampires, huh? Yes. The winged creatures of the mist. I fear them not, for I know the night as well as the, I'm so excited for this film. I'm a devoted patron of the arts, especially the scary arts. The scarier the art, the better. Do you have a favorite horror movie? Of course, I have a favorite horror movie. Mine is Halloween Town. Terrifying. Oh, interesting. It's odd. I don't seem to remember Halloween Town being that scary. I would have expected them to bring up some sort of like strange like foreign horror film that I'd never really heard of. Your dad book profiles seem to also err on the side of horror-like, perhaps? Damien's knuckles are turning white. It's almost like he's about to rip the armrest off. Wait a second. Damien, are you afraid of horror movies? You must be joking. I love horror movies. Doubt. X. The lights dim for the film. Damien screams! Ah! Oh my God. I don't even have to do the screaming. That was like blaring. I apologize. I was thinking about something scarier for this movie, which is not scary, like at all. It's not scary in the least bit. We settle in as the film starts. I offer Damien some licorice, and he takes one, and I take note of how much his hands are kind of shaking. The title flashes across the screen in bloody letters. Vampire Crusade 2. Evil Never Dies. A pale man with long, silver hair, glittering red eyes, and well-oiled abs sits up in a coffin. Awaken my coven. Two more vampires slide the tops of their stone coffins onto the floor and to the side. Brother, is it time? Yes, husband, but also mortal enemy, it is time. The three look at each other. There are three of them. And then to the camera. For the Vampire Crusade. This rules. The trio of vampires flies off into the night as foreboding organ music plays in the distance. I somehow get lost in the movie. As dumb as it sounded, it's actually a pretty fun flick. We get to the tense moment in the movie where Romulus Trueblood sits at a truce meeting with the general of the human army whose wife Romulus has fallen in love with. Romulus, it is good to finally meet you. General, I agree. It's good to finally blood you. Romulus leaps out and slashes the general's throat, and blood splatters all over everything, including the camera. Damien screams again. Eggs reflexively grasping my hand and the microphone. I immediately blush, forgetting about any vampires or blood or vampiric blood.
What?
Or some combination thereof. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Damien retracts his hand, places it back upon his lap. I was writing a novel in my head about blood magic, and I got an extremely scary section. It's got nothing to do with the movie. Damien goes back to quietly stressing out over the movie. It's actually kind of cute that he won't admit that he's really afraid of it. Kind of wish that he'd hold my hand again. I'm such a thirsty dad. Maybe I could do something to try to make him feel a little more comfortable, like shove a Sour Patch Kid into his mouth, consensually and carefully, and with the sour coming first, and then the sweet, and then disappearing. I've got it. I'll do all the dads do best. I'm gonna talk during the movie. Tell a dad joke, point out a plot hole, ask what's happening. Point out a plot hole. That makes it less believable, you know? Did you notice how the guard, when they fired 7 bullets, the gun only has 6 bullets, right? Yes, that's absolutely unforgivable from a filmmaking standpoint. It's almost unwatchable. It's funny how it's so much easier to point out tiny mistakes in the work of others than it is to actually go create your own thing, huh? Self-criticism is scary. Hey, look! That's an anachronism! The rest of the movie goes by relatively smoothly, with only a few whimpers from Damien. Maybe he would have liked the romantic comedy better. We get to the final scene of the movie, where Romulus Bad Blood and the General's wife embrace each other in his crypt. It appears that the true Vampire Crusade was the Vampire Crusade in our hearts, our cold, unbeating hearts. Romulus and the General's wife begin making out. Hard. The film fades to black, and the end appears on the screen. But then it hard cuts to Demetrius and his rival lover, Carmela, who watch the two from afar. Oh no, it's a twist ending! Our bloodline has been pure for 1,000 years. Romulus has betrayed us by loving a more human woman. It will only be a short time before the next Vampire Crusade 3. Evil must die for a 3rd time. More thunder. Ominous organs. The movie fades out again, and bloody question mark now completes the end. Damien and I walk out of the movie theater amidst throngs of chattering moviegoers. He's a little more pale than I remember, but otherwise he survived the encounter. He even seems kind of invigorated. What an interesting film. While the premise admittedly struck me as pedestrian, I was intrigued by its harrowing love story and great attention to detail in regards to a vampiric lore. Yeah, it was pretty good. A lot more vampire titties than I thought were going to be. Come, the night is young. Let's take a stroll. And off we go, we're strolling along. Damien's making a point of not telling me where he's taking me. Still, I'm enjoying the walk and the cool night air. Being alone here with Damien is a lot better than being at a crowded theater. Lovely day for it, isn't it? As lovely as the company is. Ooh. He thinks I'm lovely. Damn. All right. Here comes the smooth response. Thanks. No problem. Crushed it. We both stand there feeling a little awkward. I sure am one smooth operator. Oh boy, one who operates. Are you getting a little hungry? We could maybe stop off and grab something to eat. Worry not, friend. I've a plan. We turn the corner and are greeted by the gates of a cemetery. What? Are we going in there? A little bit of Victorian flavor. Cameron, come on, trust me. Sure thing, pal. I'm a little bit nervous. Music got all cool. I'm a bit nervous, but Damien hasn't led me wrong yet. I follow his lead as we walk into the cemetery. Statues of angels stare down at us as we follow a path through the faded tombstones. Oh, this is totally twerp music in the background. Oh, this is totally twerp! talk box or voice box. As we crest a small hill, we get a beautiful view of the city. The night lights sparkle around us. I gotta hand it to him. For being in a cemetery, this is strangely romantic. Picnicking in graveyards is an old Victorian tradition, an appropriate finish to an evening after a vampire movie. Now, wouldn't you say? With a flourish, Damien produces a blanket and a picnic basket. Wait, where are you hiding that thing? Under my cloak? Oh, right. Damien unfolds the blanket and we both sit down, gazing out at the city lights. He produces a bottle of red wine, a fine selection of cheeses, which he kept under his cloak the entire time during the movie. In the Victorian era, there were no public art galleries, parks, or botanical gardens to speak of. Once rural graveyards became a more popular alternative to church burials, they became the only place that people could see beautiful plant life and fine sculptures. That makes sense. This is actually pretty nice. I have a question, though. How are you so okay with being in a graveyard, but you had trouble handling a scary movie?
What?
I wasn't. Okay, yes, I was extremely scared by that movie. I was not writing a book about blood magic in my head. I just have never been good at those. I just feel as if because of how I look and act, people expect me to love horror films, so I must play the part. Truth be told, I don't know if I have the constitution for them at times. Oh, Damien, I'm so sorry. If I had known, I would have suggested another movie. It's quite alright. I actually did find myself enjoying this one. Thanks for your help. Graveyards, however, I think there's something rather beautiful about death. Cemeteries are traditionally built away from cities, away from the land of the living, and it keeps us rather separated from it. To acknowledge death and become comfortable with it, I think gives us a certain intimate knowledge of ourselves. To sit amongst generations of those who came before us, to be truly alive in the midst of so much death, brings me great comfort. Death helps me appreciate life, to savor every second. We sit around, we enjoy our food, and we enjoy our wine. I don't really feel scared anymore. I never thought I'd be comfortable sitting alone in a graveyard at night, but this is actually very, very peaceful. And suddenly it doesn't feel like we're alone. And off in the distance, I see a shadowy figure in the trees! What was that? Ah! Not sure.
Huh.
It noticed us. I'm paralyzed with fear as it begins lumbering slowly towards us, taking a more animal form, more feral. And I looked at Damien for help, but he's just as afraid and transfixed as I am. I want to scream, but it's kind of stuck in my throat. The creature's getting closer, and it's moving faster. Oh! It's a dog. As it finally comes into the light, the friendliest, dumbest little Boston Terrier I've ever seen pulls its owner towards us. The dog trots over to Damien and sniffs at his hands. Damien looks ecstatic. He ruffles the dog's fur happily. What a beautiful dog. Hey. We both look up, not expecting to see you. Thanks. Robert! Whatever are you doing out here in this lovely evening? Hunting cryptids.
Huh.
What? What?
Oh.
I didn't know you had a dog. This isn't my dog. I found her wandering the street. I put a leash on her, and now we're walking around this graveyard together, hunting cryptids.
Huh.
Damien and I kind of share a look. May I give her a treat? Sure. Wouldn't give her cheese, though. Not to worry. Damien reaches into the depths of his cloak and procures a small dog treat. What else is he keeping in that cloak of his? The dog laps up the treat and crunches away, tail wagging furiously, with the great fervency of a young animal who is satisfied. Damien continues to smooth down her fur. Thanks. My absolute pleasure. Damien shakes the dog's paw. Lovely to meet you, my friend. May our paths cross again. Robert and his dog disappear into the darkness again. It is his dog. We saw him. Damien stares after. I didn't know you liked dogs. Victorians loved dogs. Actually, most Victorian women of high fashion would always be accompanied by a small little doggy, such as a terrier or a Maltese. I think bulldogs are nice too. Yeah, man, these dogs are cool. I do believe we've had enough excitement for one night, and what say we make our way home? Damien hops to his feet and extends a hand to help me up. I gladly take it, as my knees aren't really what they used to be. He packs up his picnic basket and leads us out to the graveyard. As we begin to walk home, I take one last look at the cemetery. It really is beautiful. Like a proper gentleman, Damien walks me to my doorstep. Thank you ever so kindly for your company tonight. Damien, it was my pleasure. Cameron, if you'll allow me, it would bring me great joy to offer you a token of my affection. Damien reaches into his cloak and pulls out what's behind door number 7 tonight, a folded, monogrammed handkerchief, and he presses it into my hand. Wow. Thank you, Damien. I will use this to dry my tears for those I've lost. I can't wait to sneeze on this. I'm gonna wave this at passing ships. I'm gonna wave this at passing ships. Oh, no, nautical, right? Acknowledging the dead. A noble purpose. Damien shuffles his feet. I just want to say that it's rare to find someone like you. Someone who's open to my eccentricities. It's nice to feel so accepted. Thank you. Damien gives my hand a quick squeeze. Oh. Damien blushes and he hastily retracts his hand, ever so tentatively. I must take my leave. Good night. Before I can say anything else, he's gone. Huh. I unlock the door and I step inside. To my home. Like a whirlwind, Amanda runs from the window and pops down on the couch, trying to look nonchalant. Hey, Dad? Hey, Dad. What's up? Were you watching me from the window? No. I was just... No, okay, yes. How was the movie? Lots of vampire titties. Told you. But, as it turns out, Damien's scared. Wait. Amanda doesn't need to know that yet. I'm gonna keep it between me and my vampire lover. Scary cool. Yeah, he's so cool. Scary. Downright terrifying. Nice save, Cameron. Nice save. Did you know that graveyards used to be a place to throw parties? I think I'm misremembering that. Wow. That's pretty punk. Also, we saw a dog. Definitely thought it was a werewolf for a minute, though. Or a cryptid. How can you be so sure it wasn't a werewolf? How can you be so sure I'm not a werewolf? And how can I be so sure that you're not a werewolf? Amanda's eyes narrow. I don't trust you. Nor I you. We make intense, wary eye contact. For just a second. Anyway, I'm calling it for the night. Don't stay up too late, will you? I'll try not to howl at the moon past midnight. Spooky! Spooky, spooky consumption! Ugh, delightful. I'll take a moment to observe how this sleeper cocktail...
Simply taken the egg on this one. Taken the egg is it's a Victorian phrase. It technically means winning, so, ultimately, you've won.
Damien just let me know that I took the egg on this one. I didn't know that he talked about eggs. That makes this 2-egg yolk cocktail seem even more fitting. And by the way, it almost tastes like a tiny little lemon meringue. Almost. It's a bit more eggy, and it is very, very heavy on the cumin, which, now that I think about it, tastes a lot like parsley in my palate right now, combined with everything else. It's a little weird. It's a little weird, and it's kind of gotten... I feel like this needs to be warmer, but... Or colder. It's not bad, though. It's just weird. That went well. Interview with a vampire.
Got dads.
Almost got the achievement. All right, Damien. It's time to get serious. Serious with the vampire, man. All right, buddy. This is where it goes. I cannot wait to see how the rest of this goes. I love this Damien character so far. I have no idea who voices a lot of the character of this game. I know a couple of them, and Damien's voice, I've never even heard Damien's voice before, but I love it. It reminds me a lot of my own. Save and continue. It's a lesson in self-love, I'd say, you know? Let's proceed. Let us proceed. Oh, goodness gracious. At this point, I'll query for the crowd. I'm drinking egg yolk cocktail. What are you drinking? Feel free to let us know. Chat, if you're drinking something, it really doesn't matter what it is. Could just be water, tea, or otherwise. I'm curious. There's information behind all the things that we choose to libate. Libations. To libate? That's what we do. Libations. Ever since we had that picnic in the graveyard, Damien and I have been spending a lot of time together. We go on nighttime strolls pretty regularly. He was so impressed with the first letter I wrote him that he insisted we only communicate by post instead of through dad book. I initially protested, but he gave me one of his old signet rings to use as a seal for my letters, and I couldn't say no to that. That's freaking cute. Hanging out with Got That again? Please, Amanda. You know his name. Damien, and yes, I am. Be honest with me here, Pops. Is he actually a vampire? I remember you inviting him into our household at one time, and I've seen The Lost Boys, and I honestly would have preferred trying to see if he could have walked through the threshold of our home under his own power. Yes, Amanda. I have become Damien's familiar. I'm compelled under his curse. I'm sorry, sweetie.
Aww.
Turn into a bat. I don't think... What's the point of being a vampire if you can't turn into a bat? Well, okay. I'm off! Are you taking the car, or are you flying off into the night on the leathery wings of a bat? One of those. While I'm out, can you throw away the garlic bread that's in the freezer so I don't die? That would be great. Or potentially the toasted pieces of garlic that I have. I don't know why they're in the fridge, but if they are, I respect it. But you gotta let them out to air every once in a while, or things get a little musty, you know? I'm keeping it there as insurance. You understand, right? That's my girl. Venting out the garlic. If you take garlic and you add it to honey, it starts to ferment, and you gotta burp it every once in a while. I still have garlic honey. I think it still tastes good. Damien and I walk along the water's edge, chatting. Damien's cape, cloak. It's a cloak. He hates it when people call it a cape. Damien's cloak flutters behind him in the breeze. This is gonna seem like a silly question, but why do goths wear black? Gothic subculture has always been associated with death, so it would make sense that the style surrounding it would be greatly influenced by mourning. Interestingly enough, though, there was this Victorian-era Queen Victoria herself mourned the death of her late husband for 10 whole years, wearing black for the rest of her life. If that's not goth, I don't know what is. I have another question. Go ahead. How are you so comfortable with death? You mentioned in the graveyard that it kind of helps you appreciate your life or something. I've experienced several losses over the course of my life, and I truly believe the only manageable way to cope with it is to accept that death is just simply a part of living. It's the single universal truth. For every human who has ever lived, I'm going to die. You are going to die. And life carries on without us. Doesn't that make you feel scared? Not at all. Without the advances of modern science, death was everywhere in the Victorian era, and yet funerals were major social functions. Victorians were obsessed with mementos of their loved ones, even going so far as to take elaborately staged photographs of their dead relatives. The minutiae of mourning was so complex that There were sets of periods of grieving that were deemed unacceptable, deemed acceptable, based on who in your life had passed. Now, we don't have any of that. If you lose somebody, you end up feeling lost yourself because we have no modern equivalent of those formalities. We need to allow ourselves time to grieve, to feel that loss fully, but not allow it to consume us. So no, I'm not afraid of death. I believe it is a waste to spend your life dreading the end of it. The time we have here is brief and fleeting, and occasionally cruel, but it is at all times precious to stare death in the face and live. Despite all of that, I think, is a noble existence. Let's save the mourning for the dead. Wow. That's beautiful. I can see the moonlight in the bay glint off of Damien's eyes ever so slightly. He smiles. We turn to the harbor and watch ships pass along, breathing in the salty sea air. I look to Damien again. I can't quite but be entranced by his charm, his mystery. I find everything about him just so fascinating. I lean in closer to Damien. I kind of close my eyes a bit as we do. So sorry. I have to take this. Damien steps away to answer his phone. Oh, I hope it's not Lucien again. After speaking in hushed tones for a few minutes, Damien returns to me. Everything okay? There's an emergency! Lucien? No! Thankfully. But I must take my leave. Oh. Okay. Is there anything I can do to help? Dads do have to stick together, right? You know it. Then come. There isn't time to waste. And along we go. After a short drive in silence, we arrive at a rundown building on the outskirts of town. Where are we? It's better if I just show you. I push the surprisingly heavy door open and find myself in a dimly lit waiting room. A few rickety chairs line the walls, and there doesn't seem to be anyone behind the front desk. There are a few paintings and pictures on the wall, but they're so nondescript. I'm still unsure of what kind of place this even is. Kind of looks like a kennel. I see like little cages for like dogs and stuff. Wait here for a moment. I'll be right back. Damien walks off down the corridor, his boot heels echoing through the halls of the seemingly empty building. Distant howls echo from some place I can't see, and there's a faint scratching sound like claws on tile. Cautiously peek down the hall and find stall after stall of scared-looking dogs. A few of them notice me and they skitter up to the chain link fence, sticking their noses out to sniff at the air. What have I gotten myself into? Suddenly, the lights shut off, and I panic, unsure of where I am or how I can get out. I stumble through the darkness, my breathing getting heavier and heavier. Damien? The lights finally turn back on. Hey, sailor. Mary? What are you doing here?
Come on.
You aren't here for the fight club? I don't want to get punched in the face. Great, because this is an animal shelter. A what? We take care of stray animals, and then people adopt the stray animals. Didn't you see the pets when you walked in? Sorry. I didn't really expect to see you volunteering in an animal shelter.
Come on.
Wow. Okay, kid. Way to put me in the box. Go for it. Dames. Yeah. You hear this baloney? Just one moment. Thunder cracks and the door bursts open, appearing from the shadows. I see Damien? Hey. It's Damien. He looks completely different. There's no cloak, no Victorian era clothing, no makeup. He's got an iron belt buckle with an X on it. Very appreciable. I wasn't planning to share this side of me until much later, but I'm not as goth as you think. I'm a systems administrator for the IT department of a realty company. I wear tennis shoes to work, and I listen to Bruce Springsteen. I enjoy going to the hardware store and looking at storage solutions, and I volunteer at this animal shelter in my spare time. I'm boring. I'm fascinated with Victorian history and the goth lifestyle, but that much is true. It's just not all that I am, and I need you to know that. Oh, hate to kill the moment there, but there's some pressing business that needs tending to. Right! It's Duchess Cordelia. Again? Who's Duchess Cordelia? She's one of the pups. Gets out all the time. She somehow learned how to open the doors, and now she's just unstoppable. When did she get out? This morning, I went to go sing sea shanties to the cats, and when I came back, she had already bolted. I have to stay here with the pets, so I need you two to go and find her. Of course! Where could she be? She always ends up running off to the same places. Here, let me draw you a map. Mary starts scribbling on the back of pet adoption form. She's very smart. Ruthless even. You need to stay on your toes and get her back by sundown, or else she turns into a werewolf and starts eating people. What? You're a perfect little peach, Cameron. We just don't want her to be stuck outside when it's cold. Oh. I'll grab some treats and we can hit the road. Damien and I look over at the map Mary created for us. Oh man. So I'm Nerd's house, huh? We got Mario Batali, Kale, Coffee Dad, Nerd's house, Mary's sick pad, Joseph's house. Small's Moonshine, Small, Damien, other Nerd's house. It's incredible. This is correct. This is absolutely correct. Who's the other nerd? Is it Hugo? It's Hugo. It's gotta be Hugo. And I didn't realize that Coffee Dad was literally, like, Hugo, Matt is literally right across the street from the coffee spoon. And there's cats and stuff over here. There's, she mixed up east and west. Shit. The ocean or whatever. I love this. Mary's map. This is very accurate. I'm the Nerd's house? At least you're not. Other Nerd's house? Looks like you're moving up in the pecking order. Congrats, kiddo. Where should we head first? Coffee spoon? Cul-de-sac? Where would the dog go? Who let the dog out? I mean, the shelter's here, right? So I feel like you go to the softball field, you know? Go to the softball field. Damien and I exit the parking lot and start driving toward town. I look over to him and he seems really concerned. Shouldn't be too hard to find the Duchess, right? She's a pretty big pup. Mary wasn't kidding when she said the dog was smart. One time she correctly guessed the winner of the Kentucky Derby. It was a really great year for Bark Bark Bark. I don't know. What do you think our odds are, Cameron? This will be easy. Gotta stay positive. Gotta stay positive. Abandon all hope, ye who enter here. Gotta stay positive. My dad once told me, Cameron, you can't shove raisins up your nose. And that really hurt my feelings. I felt discouraged, but I kept a positive attitude, and you know what? I made it happen. Ew. It might have landed me in the ER and forced me to have 10 golden raisins removed from my nasal cavity, but on that day, I learned that anything is possible if you have a good attitude and abnormally large nostrils. Young children really are resilient, I suppose. Yeah, young children. I was 16. Let's just hope for the best. We got this. Vroom. We drive to the softball field. It looks like Craig's team is practicing. I wonder if any of the kids saw something. Craig spots us and he jogs on over as he normally does. Softball bat slung over his shoulder. Yay, bros! What's up? Craig, you wouldn't have happened to see a dog around here, have you? One escaped from the animal shelter and we're trying to locate her. I don't think so. Maybe one of the girls saw something.
Nice.
Girls! Hi, Amanda's dad. Hi, Lucin's dad. We have names. Girls, have you seen any dogs around? Yeah, a huge dog ran through here a second ago. You just missed it. We tried to play fetch with her, but she took the softball and ran. I think she ate it, actually. She was a lot of dog. Here, take another softball. Might come in handy later. Many thanks, Craig. We got the ball. I figured that'd be a good spot to go. And now that we got the ball, I feel like dogs wouldn't go to a coffee shop. I don't think the aquarium either, though. Bayside? To the beach. Not the aquarium. I don't think so, at least. We arrived back at the Bayside. Just like old times, huh? I remember it as if it were yesterday. I mean, earlier today. So what do you think? Any sight of the pooch? None yet. Although, who knows if she made it onto any of those ships. The Duchess would do that? I wouldn't put it past her to know how to navigate in rough seas and without a compass. Very smart. And before the dog is... for the coffee shop, even before the dog is sipping chai. Old bean shop. Very smart. Very smart. Pops? Damien and I turned to see my daughter. Amanda, what are you doing here? Did you think I just stayed inside all day, vegging out on the couch and watching TV? Oh. Sorry? What are you doing? I'm heading home to go veg out on the couch and watch TV. Had to get the burrito first. Young miss, have you seen a dog around here? Oh, you bet. I saw a Pomeranian with a bow around its neck. I saw a big old Doberman named Henry. There was a stroller full of Yorkies, a Greyhound, a Golden Retriever. Did you see a Mastiff anywhere? No dice. I would have definitely remembered that. I gotta run though. This Doritos has about 10 minutes before the cheese breaks down the molecular structure of the tortilla and makes it all soggy. You understand? I do? Of course. And have a lovely evening, Miss with an X. How polite. Cold as suck. Spoon. Field. Bayside. Bayside no work. What if he is at the aquarium? Or like more realistically at the coffee sack. The coffee sack. Cul-de-sac or coffee spoon? Coffee spoon. We sip at a chai. We park in front of Matt's coffee shop and walk inside. It seems like a slow day. Matt sits behind the counter and he's reading a book. Hey, Matt. Didn't expect to see you two here today. What's up? Huh. Have you seen any stray dogs around? Can't say I have. You looking for one? Can you describe them to me? Enormous. That pretty well covers it. Cool. I find strays digging for food scraps in the alley about back sometimes. I'll be sure to keep an eye out. We head back out to the car. And we'll go to the sack. Cul-de-sac. Oh, not this guy. I love this guy. We drive through the cul-de-sac and everything seems to be pretty normal. Looks like Brian's doing yard work. We pull into Brian's driveway and we hop out. Hey! Don't step in the grass. I just mowed. Have you seen any unusual activity in the area today? Aside from your underwater lawn? Oh god, here we fucking go. How dare you? I take my lawn care very seriously. Cameron, please. You haven't seen a dog run through here, have you? Well, a few hours ago I heard Maxwell barking at something, and when I came outside my garden had been torn to shreds. It's going to take forever to till the soil. That could be a dog. Or a rather feisty raccoon. Whatever it was, must have been hungry. Ate all my tomatoes. I'm very sorry to hear about your garden. If you need assistance restoring it to its former glory, please don't hesitate to contact me. Will do, buddy. Good luck finding that dog. She's probably still hungry. I wonder if she's looking for more food elsewhere. I fear that the hours are growing short. Must make haste for her to find the Duchess by sundown, or she'll turn into a werewolf. Damien's looking more stressed out by the minute. I gotta think it's something to lighten the mood. Kind of dog does a vampire have? I would imagine it would be unwise for a vampire to take up the company of a smaller mammal for the means of companionship. It would be too tempting to... A bloodhound. I was gonna say a bloodhound, Damien. Oh, yes. Haha. Jeez. Oh, I keep reading Damien directions from the map as we drive around town. We haven't been to the aquarium yet. Let's go to the aquarium. Damien and I stopped by the aquarium. Everything looks in order here, but it might help to get out of the car and take a look. You seen anything? No dog here. Not any sign of her. Did you know that penguins are considered the goths of the sea? Damien, I want to believe you so badly. I guess we can go back to the softball field. It's later in the day, right? Damien and I return to the softball field, and it looks like the game is in progress, and Craig's team is winning, of course. Any sign of her? I don't think so. Oh, wait, maybe? No, never mind. Just a kid taking a nap out in the outfield. We get back in the car. I fear the night draws closer and closer with every passing breath. We must find the Duchess soon. This is serious. I hope we find her. Oh my god. I'm not going back to the softball field again. For food. Where would you go for food? Aside from like somebody else's... The tomatoes. They were eating the tomatoes. We would go back to the cul-de-sac. We arrive back at the cul-de-sac and everything seems to be pretty normal. Seems like Brian's gone inside. His garden is... immaculate. Seriously, it looks so damn good. In like a half hour. I can't believe it. How does he do that? Why can't I do that? I guess this is an insecurity for another day. We do a U-turn and we keep on driving. Back to the Bayside? Would be pretty romantic. Damien and I arrive back at the Bayside.
Oh, no.
Doesn't seem like anything has changed here. We should try somewhere else, huh? Okay. The sun is set. My dear friend, I'm afraid this is where our night ends. Oh. Please return me to the shelter. I'm sure Mary and I will be able to find Duchess somewhere. You've been a great help. Damien and I drive back in relative silence. I drop him off in the parking lot he had been to earlier in the day. Bye, Damien. Good luck. Ooh. Thank you. I watch him walk into the shelter as I drive off into the night. So I wish I had ended that better. I find Amanda lying on the couch. Hey, kiddo. How's it going? You know, just kind of existing. Horizontally. She sits up. You okay? You look sad. Yeah, I'll be fine. It's been a long day. I want to watch something stupid on TV? I always do. Amanda and I cozy up on the couch and turn on the episode of Meat Hell I've seen 1,000 times. You know, that might have been a bummer. But at least I know Amanda's always here for me. And so is the food channel. Ooh, that sucked. Ooh. That was really bad. I think we could definitely do that again.
That won't do.
That really sucked. Yeah, that really sucked. We know that somebody came by to rip up the tomatoes, right? So what if we just go there first? Woof. Are you on all the Damien dates, Rake D? I feel like we could do that better. It's not quite 11 o'clock yet. We got a little bit of time here. I feel that we can do that better. I think what we'll do is we're gonna go back to when we get the map, right? And we'll just go to the cul-de-sac first. Because that's where we know that Duchess was digging up the tomatoes. And we had a softball. Maybe the softball works. And maybe we need the softball in order to lure in Duchess. So perhaps the move is softball first, then cul-de-sac. But let's go to the cul-de-sac first, just to confirm that. Right, the cul-de-sac and everything seems to be pretty normal. It seems like Brian has gone inside. His garden is immaculate. Oh, okay, I didn't go back far enough. I definitely did not go back far enough. Go back. Oh, Dabak is way down here. Did I go back far enough? I think I went back far enough. Or maybe... No. Okay, we're gonna go back. Go back. At the cul-de-sac, everything seems pretty normal. So Brian's got it. Oh, that was literally all it was? Oh. Insecurity for another day. I don't even know where we are anymore. I'm gonna go back for... I don't even know where we are anymore. Back to that book. Just go back to the beginning. We'll make it work.
You got dads.
Damien! Dogs! Save and continue! Onward! Verily! There we go. Let's go. Continue on through. We got it. It's easy. It's all so romantic. I love this Damien guy. I love him so much. Okay. Hey, sailor. Hi there, sailor. Hello there. I'm a sailor. Thunder crack and exasperated laughing. All right, now we're here. Let's save that. I want to go to the cul-de-sac first. Damien and I exit the parking lot, start driving. He seems concerned. Shouldn't be too hard to find the Duchess, right? Yeah, big pup. She's smart. Kentucky Derby. Really great for you for Bark Bark. What do you think the odds are? Gotta stay positive? That was awkward the first time. Abandon all hope. Ye who enter here. That doesn't sound very good either. But lo, look upon God's creation, and wretch with horror as what he hath forsaken. Hell is empty, and the devils are all here. That was hot. Nice. I thought that would cheer you up. Let's just hope for the best. We got this. To the cul-de-sac. Drive the cul-de-sac if it seems pretty normal. Pull into Brian's driveway. Don't step on the grass. Unusual activity. Lawn care very seriously. Cameron, please. You haven't seen a dog run through here? Maxwell. To the fact. So this already happened. Ate all the tomatoes. So we didn't have any sign of the dog at the aquarium, nor at the bayside. But we have this now. If we tell Matt to be on guard, I feel like we need the softball. I could be wrong about that, though. Tried the softball, Craig's team, they go along here, and we get a softball. Now we got the softball, right? We could go to the place with food, right? Why wouldn't you go back to the cul-de-sac, the place with food? Or perhaps this is like the preparatory step, where we go to the coffee spoon and tell Matt to be on guard, we tell Craig to be on guard, and we are aware of Brian. So let's go to the coffee spoon. Park in front, get to read a book. Didn't see it, running, might have been running east, I think. That pup tore through 3 pans of old banana bread Kennedys. Want to take some for the road? Wait. That's different than before. That pup tore through the 3 pans of old banana bread Kennedys. Want to take some for the road, just in case? Sure thing. Matt packages up a slice. Thanks for the slice. The road slice. This banana bread is going to be so good. I think he meant to give it to you for the dog. Right. I meant it's going to be so good for the dog to eat. Okay. I feel like we're on the right track. You think? If we keep this up, we'll find Duchess in no time. Hey, if you like dogs so much, why don't you have any? Lucian is severely allergic. I wouldn't put him through that. But there are still dogs in my life, so for that I'm grateful. There's about to be one more dog in your life, buddy. Splendid attitude. Let us not waste any more time. Verily! Verily! So if he was heading towards the east from the coffee spoon, that seems like the cul-de-sac, right? This feels good so far. I'm gonna save that. Cul-de-sac. We'll go back to the cul-de-sac. We arrived at the cul-de-sac to find everything looking normal, except... Uh-oh. Hugo's front door is wide open. She can open doors!
Oh, no.
This is classic Duchess Cordelia, a telltale sign. We should approach with caution. Whatever goes down in there, I got your back. I got the banana bread in one hand, and I got the softball in the other, and then I got the guns. Pythons in between. We creep upon the porch, and we step inside. Inside Hugo's house. There, sitting in the center of Hugo's living room, like she owns the damn place, the biggest dog that I've ever seen. And she's so beautiful. Well, she hasn't broken anything in here. Yet. Wonderful. Now all we have to do is get this leash on her before she tries to escape again. And get out of here before Hugo comes home. Easy peasy. Duchess, come here. The Duchess eyes Damien warily. As he approaches, she begins to growl. She's on her guard. We'll need another plan. Try the softball? Give her banana bread Kennedys? Hand her a dog treat? Banana bread feels cool. Softball. You're hungry, right? You're hungry. You've been hungry this whole time. Here's the banana bread Kennedys. I don't want to screw this up. Oh, there we go. I reach into my pocket and pull out a slice of the banana bread Kennedys Matt gave me. That just sniffs the air. He owns on the bread. Come here, girl. Nice and easy. I've got some yummy, homemade, vegan, gluten-free, maybe banana bread, if that's what you're into. The Duchess cautiously approaches me and gives the bread a good sniff before gently taking it from my hand, dropping it on the ground, like dogs always do for some reason. She curls up and starts munching away. Success! Damien walks up behind the Duchess and attaches the leash to her collar. She immediately notices and starts whining. It's time to go home now, Duchess. Damien gives a tug on the leash, and she won't move. Duchess, what happened to our rapport? You and I used to be bosom buddies. She still doesn't move. She's huge. There's no way we can even try to lift her. Well, this is a weird situation to be in. I think we're literally trespassing in our friend's house with this large dog. What are you nerds doing? What are you nerds doing? Who is that? Ernest! Oh, duh! Stands in the doorway with a plate of pizza rolls. We're definitely not trespassing. Don't tell your dad about this. Ah, you can tell your dad about this. We're definitely not trespassing. It looks like trespassing. Well, yeah. Just looks like that. Damien, what are we doing? Trespassing? Are you kidding me? You do me in like that? No. This is gonna be a perfect freaking date. You hear me? You hear me? I had to give him my banana bread for this. Banana bread Kennedy's. That's right. Perfect freaking date. Whether you like it or not. What flavor pizza rolls are they? Pepperoni blast. Nice. The Duchess notices Ernest, starts pulling against the leash. Why is this dog in my house? Oh no, the Duchess is looking angry. Oh my god. It's along. The Duchess suddenly breaks free from Damien's grip and hurtles towards Ernest. Oh my god! Ah! Oh my god! Ernest and the Duchess fall to the ground. Pizza rolls flying everywhere. This is bad. Ernest, are you okay? Ernest feeds the Duchess a pizza roll. Hey! She likes pizza rolls! Ernest sits up, but the dog keeps licking his face. Oh. Hey. Hugo stands at the door looking like he's at a loss for words. Why are you guys... Whose dog is this? It's a long story, but it does involve a large dog who knows how to open doors. Hugo, may I present to you Duchess Cordelia. How do you do? Moof. We're friends. The Duchess licks at Ernest's face. She's from the local animal shelter. She got out and we've been chasing her all around town. Your house was her final stop. Dad, can we keep her? Ernest, I don't know if we're set up to take care of, wait, did you just call me Dad? Come on, please! Oh, look how cutie she is! Hugo sighs. We had been talking about adopting a dog for a while, but you have to promise you'll take care of her. Yeah, I'll give her all the pizza rolls her little heart desires. I suddenly remember what's on the back of this map, and I pull a pen out of my pocket. Got the forms ready for you, if you're interested.
Oh.
I'll even waive the adoption fee since it, we technically broke into your household. Well, all right. It's a deal. Hugo steps onto the porch with us and signs the form while Ernest plays with Duchess inside. He sure seems to be happy with his new friend.
Oh.
I know. He called me Dad. Can you believe it? Damien places a hand on Hugo's shoulders. I certainly can. And I think this would be really good for Ernest. It should teach him some responsibility. You should probably look into getting better locks on your doors, though. The Duchess is a wily one, but do right by her, and she'll love you too forever. Thank you. That was precious! It ended in an adoption! I love that. And long story short, the Duchess now lives in a happy home, and neither of us were charged for breaking and entering. All in all, this is a fine day's work. Nice work, you two. Cameron, you could be a valuable asset to our team of volunteers, you know? If you ever feel like petting some puppies, hit me up. Mary? I always feel like petting puppies. Good to know. I'll catch you fellas later. Mary starts to leave. And one last thing. Damien's been telling me about you. Glad he finally brought you around. Oh, yeah. Damien's my special boy. I love him. We go way back. And I got a vested interest in his health, success, and well-being. If you ever hurt him, Mary, you can fill in the blanks. Yes, ma'am. Mary leaves me alone with Damien. So, about the whole goth thing, I completely understand if you aren't interested in me anymore. What? Am I missing something here? I'm not a cool goth prince. I'm boring. I own 5 pairs of tennis shoes. I wear dumb glasses. Don't you even care? He looks so nervous. Damien, you really think I only like you because of all the goth stuff? Yo, that's cool. But the best thing about you is just how passionate you are about the things that you love. Oh, there's history, art, Victorian fashion, there's dogs, storage solutions. It doesn't matter what it is. You care. And that's awesome. And also, glasses are very cute. You don't think I'm boring at all? Dude, if you're boring, I don't know what that makes me. I spend too much time online shopping for flashlights. I get excited to mow my lawn on Saturdays. I get cranky about commercials being too loud. I've even been thinking about making my own peanut butter. Then maybe we can be boring together? It would never be boring if it was with you. Damien suddenly closes the gap between us and pulls me into a hug. Aw, bears his face on my shoulder. His hair smells like lavender and rosemary. Oh, I was so scared you wouldn't like me. Quite the opposite. Damien pulls away for a second and he looks me in the eyes. Without the colored contacts, his eyes are so dark and beautiful. And I knew his eyes had a particular shade of purple to them. May I kiss you? Does a bat have wings? Thou art welcome. Does a bat have wings? I believe I have my answer then. He smiles slightly and leans in, giving me a gentle, polite kiss. He pulls away and he gives me a very intense look. Do you want to help me take care of the puppies? Yes. Oh my god, yes. I love puppies. I like dogs. I like animals. Damien and I arrive back at the cul-de-sac, our fingers kind of intertwined together, like a proper gentleman. He walks me to my doorstep. This was lovely. Thank you for your understanding. Thank you for everything. I'm very happy I can be myself around you. I'm glad. But I do have one request. What's that? Can we keep sending each other letters? But of course. Damien kisses me one last time before turning around and heading home. Amanda runs back to the couch from the window and tries to look as nonchalant as possible. Hello, Father. I was sitting here on the couch this entire time. Hi, Amanda. So, are you guys, like, starting a vampire coven together? Oh, plot twist! Mothman. Damien is actually Mothman. Who knew? I didn't see it coming either. Genius. Well, whatever's happening, I'm really glad you two are happy. You deserve it, Dad. Aw, shucks. I'm gonna head to bed. Catch you in the morning. Sure thing. I make my way to my room and fall into my bed. My heart is full, excited for the days to come. I'ma be dating a vampire dad. I like that. And now that you look at it, yeah, his eyes have a nice violet fuchsia color to them. And the highlights in his hair.
Sensing a romance between us. A chemical romance.
Chemical romance?
Well,
Who?
That's a band?
That's a band. Whose chemical romance? It's your chemical romance. It's my chemical romance. It's all of our chemical romances. That's wild. Incredible. So creative cry if you're feeling sad. Dead dip number 69. I love that. Got everything we need set up. Amanda should be here any minute. This is the part. Sorry, sweetie, it's the feds. Life of crime is finally catching up. Tried to send them in a different direction, but I just couldn't put them away. And now they're all in the backyard, all waiting to celebrate with you specifically. Who knew? Oh, Damien actually, he showed up in his outfit. Cameron, my dude. Pablo, how's the shirt business going? My butt. I got men's shirts, I got women's shirts, I got tank tops in a variety of sizes, shapes, and colors. Each one of them a fine quality screen printed with a logo of V. Oh, you know what? We've been through this conversation already. That's cool because we know who Pablo is, so he showed up and the party at the house gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Mary and Amanda have a conversation. I don't remember what it was. Oh, they're talking about the adoption center. We have a really fluffy semboid right now. His name's Harold. Loves belly rubs. He always tries to lick your face if you get too close. Mrs. Christensen, thank you so much for telling me in great detail about every single dog currently at the animal shelter. Please tell me about the Afghan with 3 legs again. Sure. Quadro, we call him. It's one of those ironic nicknames. You know, if you're really interested, I could probably steal one for you. Really? No. But I could get you in to meet all of them. We could always use extra hands around the shelter. And if those extra hands also happen to steal a dog... I'm glad you two are able to bond over cute dogs. Really warms my heart. Dad, we're having a moment. Hey, Sailor. Kid's a good egg. Where's your goth prince? You two are usually attached by the hip these days. He's around. Stellar. Mary turns her attention to Amanda. It's not too hard to sneak a dog into college. Trust me, I did it plenty back in the day. At one point, I had 3 cats living in my dorm. I decided to leave them to it. All of a sudden, a huge dog leaps up into my arms. Hello there! Duchess? Hugo and Ernest run up to me. The Duchess gives my face a few broad licks and hops down. We're working on that. Got her in a disciplinary class. She's a wild spirit who runs where she may. I don't mind at all. Looks like the 3 of you are getting along nicely. She's a valuable addition to the clan. If I hold up my homework in front of her, she'll eat it. Cool. We'll deal with that later. Duchess Cordelia spots a squirrel, darts across the yard. Ernest follows her, laughing along the way. He's actually been a lot more manageable lately. I think taking care of the dog is good for him. Thanks for breaking into my house, I guess. Anytime. Cameron! This fucker! Brian, you made it! I don't pass up a good Mac. All the party Mac. Good stuff. It's not bad. Hate this guy. But I also love this guy. My first lover, not the child. The man standing behind the child. Real Rager, talk about the old days. Craig and I are still reminiscent on the college years. You know how it is. Keg stand Craig and not so keg stand Cameron. Cocktail mixology Cameron. That's what they called me in college, obviously. Actually, they called me Cam Daddy. It's an actual nickname I had in college. Don't know why. One of my roommates actually called me Cam Daddy, and then I wrote on a package that I returned to him from Cam Daddy, and then it stuck. Perfect cheddar to mac ratio. Beautiful work, Cameron. Thanks. No problem, man. Cheese is good. Cheese is good, my guy. Cheese is very good. Amanda! Come back here! Do that thing you do with your teacher. And you do real good stuff.
Yes.
Where is... Not Robert. Not you. It's good stuff. Hey, man. All good stuff. Where's Lucien? Oh, where's my dad? I tried to spot Lucien walking up to me. Yes, Lucien? Thanks. For inviting me to your party? Anytime, bud. Hey, I know we had a rocky start, but I'm glad to know you. And I hope you know how much your dad really cares about you. And, yeah. My dad's had a rough couple years, and I know it must not have been easy to raise me alone. He's kind of a weird guy, but I love him a lot. And it seems like you make him happy. So, you're cool in my book. Thank you, Lucian. It means a lot to me. Sure. And let me know if you want me to give you a stick and poke sometime. Also, I'm sorry about the oregano thing. Oh my god, you remembered! Holy shit, you remember! I remember. Yeah, you do. Thanks for coming by, Lucian. See you around, Cameron. As the party starts to wind down, I take a seat on the back porch step. The sun is setting and everyone's eating their fill. Amanda wanders over. It's the beautiful part where we hand each other the beautiful photo time. Oh, it's so wonderful. Wouldn't be who I am today. Be the best. This is so good. I love this stuff so much. Knock him dead. Where's my vampire boy? Where is my vampire boy? I take a seat next to Damien as the last guests make their way out of the party where he's showcasing his true colors. Did you know that the Victorian era, they would call benches city boys? What? Really? I'm kidding. Cameron, but what if? Well, it's good to see you in your civvies again. Thank you. I had a revelation the other day, Cameron, and I think it was largely due to your continued influence upon me. There was a version of myself that might have been embarrassed to show you my true form, my information technology form. What you said about me, about how my passion was what you truly admired, that emboldened me to feel like myself regardless of how I choose to dress and act. Instead of separate entities, they're simply different facets of myself. A three-dimensional human being with his own thoughts, wants, and needs. I love dressing the way that I do, but feeling constricted by what I thought was my own personal brand made me lose sight of why I did this in the first place. To make myself happy. Place my hand on Damien's and feel a light squeeze. Looking up, I'm greeted by Damien's warm smile and that brief moment of pink leaves falling from the cherry blossom tree that I keep in the backyard. I'm trying to be more comfortable with who I am, rather than dwelling on who I could be to other people. Can't stop smiling. I'm so proud of this guy. Damien, I'm so happy you realize that you can be a dog-loving goth. Me too, Cameron. Me too. I feel myself inching closer to Vampire Boy. I go to brush a lock of hair out of his face, and I'm shocked by just how soft it is. How is your hair so soft? Dog shampoo. I keep running my hand through his hair. As he leans closer to me, placing a hand on the side of my face, he strokes my cheek with his thumb. You know, public displays of affection were considered scandalous in the Victorian era. Damien pulls me in for a kiss. But I think I can make an exception for you. Oh, that was wonderful. Oh, I really liked that one. That one hit even deeper than the Matt date. Oh my god. Being able to like get comfortable with who you are, like in your various different facets of your life, dude, that totally hits home. Oh my god, I love that. This game is awesome. I love how well written this is. I have nothing to compare to, but I like this. Oh, look at him. With the graveyards too, like that particular one on the back. And I'm gonna be honest, I am a little disappointed that we never saw this upside down cross that he says he always keeps on him. I'm just saying. Well, that was lovely. Well, thank you everybody so much for joining us for this wonderful next episode of Dream Daddy. That's pretty much all I've got for y'all this evening. We made a Victorian era cocktail. I was not really able to finish this thing, but you know, it could probably be improved upon. I'm sure there's plenty of different ways to improve upon these types of things, obviously. So thank you everybody for joining along all the way to the bitter end. There are, as of this moment, let's talk a little bit of business here, right? There are 2 more dads left in the game. I don't know if there's anything after these 2 dads upon being dated, but the anticipation is this. We'll probably do another one we're definitely gonna do another one on Monday. We're gonna do another one on Wednesday. And then hopefully by that point, if there's nothing really left, then we'll probably do a bar with an X stream. We've been planning some cocktails in the background of all these things, taking from our various different experiences that we've had through dating all these dads. We're gonna make some cocktails for each one of them. It seems like we'll be I'm not gonna give any spoilers. You might have thought some along the way. If you have any ideas of what they might be, feel free to throw them out there. What about the super secret ending? The cult ending? That's a maybe. It depends on how much time we have. I'll give an update that I know sometime in March, and it's happening soon. There is a Disney trip that Anna and I are doing. We're not specifically going to Disney. She's doing like a conference thing that's near Disney, and we're all doing a little bit of traveling. I am setting up, and we'll put out more details when I have everything booked and whatnot, but I'd like to do probably in place of the cult secret ending, that we do something a little more interactive, a little more IRL. I hope, if everything works okay, this phone should be set up to do a bit of mobile streaming throughout Disney parks and bars. Not specifically the parks. I'm not buying Disney tickets, but bars around the area. So it sounds like it'll be a lot of fun. I'll be putting more details about that in the various different socials that exist out there. So if you want to keep up to date, that's the place where it'll be. But at the very least, tentatively, it seems like Bar with an X Dream Daddy Cocktails will be not this coming Wednesday, but the Wednesday afterwards. As always, follow along for more details, and we'll keep you notified as soon as otherwise. Cantina? Maybe. Actually, if anybody has recommendations of where Disney bars to go to, so we can sample Disney cocktails and tropical beverages aplenty, feel free to let me know. Anna gave me a whole list, but pop them in there. Pop them into wherever you want to. DM me, Discord me, whatever it may be. I like to keep the conversation going. But to everybody out there, thanks again for joining me till the bitter end. If the moon is shining where you are, and it's a full moon this evening, and you happen to be a werewolf, please don't hurt me. And if the sun is shining, and you are also a werewolf, and have taken on your normal form, or you're a werewolf, be careful out there. Either way, y'all, the party will continue next time. Thanks again, cheers, and goodbye until we see you upon the Mondays. So long, y'all. Bye.